All right, and welcome to In the Paint. It's been a long time. Of course, we shouldn't have left you. Let me stop doing my Rakim thing, doing the Rakim dreams or whatnot. We are on tonight from 9 to roughly about 10:30, 11, roughly up so. Thanks for joining us tonight. It's been a long time, but we're back and we got some more fire. We got some real sports talk for you guys, unlike those fake ass other platforms that whack garbage or crap. But we are here to rescue you with the talk. Joining me, I created the show with some Mark A. Cunningham. Good evening, brother. How you feeling?
Tired. Mute. Everybody mute whatever's in the background. Just tired, bro. I got a lot going on with work and other things going on. But I'm here. I'm ready to rock.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's good to
thank
be
you
back.
for forging ahead. Yeah. Thanks for forging ahead and joining us, with your crazy schedule. I understand it completely. I do. I get where you're coming from. And of course, my man Chandler, congratulations on the new digs, brother.
Yes, sir. Salute.
Thanks.
How you feeling?
Tired, tried to put the bed together. That didn't work out too
well. Okay.
Chandler, you need to get closer to the mic.
Well, I can hear him.
Rodney heard me fine.
Yeah.
No, you sound off.
Okay. Well, I'm sitting literally on top of the damn bed.
Right, but you don't sound clear.
Okay. Anyway. Yo, he's funny as hell. That's Max 611 for you, right there.
I'm just keeping it real.
Yeah. Okay. Keeping it real messed up.
When keeping it real goes wrong. Okay.
Exactly. It's all good. It's all good.
He sound like he in a hallway.
Wow. Damn, son. Okay. Well, you know what? Let's get into our topics tonight. The first thing we're going to talk about on the docket is going to be the heavyweight fight between Anthony Joshua and Oleksandr Usyk. And I was kind of shocked. First of all, I'll be honest with you. I didn't even realize the fight was on. Because that was a Saturday afternoon, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Something like that, yeah, because of they fought in
time.
England.
Yeah, for sure. Fought in England, because of the time, obviously. And I was like, oh, wow, it's on. I didn't get a chance to really watch it live. I checked some of the highlights out afterwards. And kudos to Mr. Usyk and becoming, I think he has like 3 belts. You know what I'm saying? 2 or 3 belts now, And I got to say from the outset, gentlemen, I am not, nor have I ever been impressed by Anthony Joshua. Never. Not once, ever in my life. Okay, I was totally like underwhelmed with his whole. They got the media, pronouncing this guy the next king of heavyweight boxing. To me, it's like a repeat of Deontay Wilder. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, that's right. I said it. Where's Deontay now? Looking on for the comeback, huh? Right? And he's beltless at this point. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go. So I'm not impressed with. I've never been impressed with him. I'm more impressed, believe it or not, by Tyson Fury. At least he's funny and entertaining. You know what I'm saying? He's not a half bad boxer either. You could throw that into the mix. Let me bring my other brother in, and this is gonna be hilarious. Welcome. Your mic is live, sir. Mr. Bishop. How are you? How have you been?
Hey, fellas, what's going on? I'm good.
What's up, Bishop?
I can't complain.
I'm gonna hit you offline, Bishop.
Yes,
I got your number. I'm gonna hit you. So
no, he's not.
Chandler, get out the damn hallway. But
that's how big my bedroom is, brother. Okay, versus that little closet you sleeping in. Don't get me started.
Wow.
Oh my God. Here we go.
Wow.
See, you don't speak to a brother on the In the Paint live for a month, and they come at you.
He in his feelings right now.
Bro,
This is
what happens when you get your own place instead of having a roommate. So you told you.
Well,
that's hilarious.
Hey, long as we don't see you walking around naked or nothing, we good.
Yeah.
Oh Lord!
Now you can do that.
Yeah,
I don't even want to see that. So
Thank God. Yo, can I expound on
yes.
Mr. Joshua?
Yes, please do, sir.
I've never been a fan of his, but I will say he's skilled. He's a skilled boxer. But he has no chin, and I think I'm speaking to our brother Larry in our group, and Larry was like, "Well, he wasn't up for Usyk." I have a problem with that if he wasn't up for Usyk. I think he was, but I think Usyk came with the right game plan. He moved around. He didn't stay in front of Joshua. Joshua fought on his back foot a lot.
Right. Exactly.
He used his jab. Joshua, you 3 inches, 4 inches taller than this guy, and you have longer reach, and you're the bigger man. You were, as one of the announcers from HBO would say, you were supposed to impose your will on him. You didn't. He fights safe, and usually that'll get you the result that he got Saturday.
You know what?
Go ahead.
You know what? Sorry to interrupt you. Two things. One, Dom, your mic is live as well. Welcome to the show, brother. Hope all is well. That's one. Yeah. Two, the second thing is I have a problem with what you said. Not per se with you, but in what you said about Joshua. He wasn't up and ready for the fight. Now, see, that bothers me. If your title is on the line, you understand? I don't care who you're fighting. You need to be up and ready and prepared for it. Bottom line.
Right.
There's no reason you should have lost that fight. As you gave those reasons, you got the height advantage, the reach advantage. You understand? There's no reason you should have lost that fight. None.
Right.
But he did anyway, which goes back to his lack of focus. You understand? Taking cats lightly. To me, this is one of the reasons why I'm not impressed with this dude. You understand? You don't have that fire in your belly. You understand? So I really could care less about dude. I'm not even gonna call him. You were very nice in calling him a skilled boxer. No, I don't think so. He's not.
No, he's skilled. He has a good.
No, he's not. He's a bum. He is straight whack juice. Okay?
Well, no, he can have a good skill set. He just doesn't have all the other things,
which makes him whack.
Right, I'm in agreement with you. You mentioned Wilder. At least Wilder will try to knock you out. His skill set isn't as good as Joshua's, but he's coming to fight and he's coming to knock you out. Now, he didn't have success the second time against Fury, so I think they fight in a week.
Yeah,
Fury and Wilder. So we'll see if he listened to his camp and his trainers, and if he put something in the toolbox. But getting back to Joshua, I had another discussion with another friend, and he was like, Joshua's fought top 10 boxers. And I'm like, so? Those guys are burgers.
Exactly.
For me, boxing is a sport where you can't come half-ass. You can't come in looking at somebody else or not taking somebody seriously, because it's you and him and y'all in the pain game. It's not baseball, basketball, or football where, Bishop could not come and play for us if all 5 of us were on a basketball team and Bishop decided to half-ass. We still might win.
You might.
But he half-assed. You can't do that in boxing. Boxing is one of those sports where you can't half-ass.
Well, that reminds me of the story with Mike Tyson and Buster Douglas, huh? Did Mike take Buster seriously?
No, Mike was partying. Mike was sexing. Mike was smoking and sniffing.
And what happened to Mike Tyson? We all know what happened to Tyson that night.
Lost his belt.
But excuse me.
Surely.
May I interject here for 1 second?
Sir, please do. The floor is yours.
First, it's like I don't even know why we waste time talking about English boxers.
Oh wow!
It's like none of those dudes are about that. So it's just like they're just participants in the sport. I think somehow, some way, he figured out that he could probably make more money if he does double ups on the rematches. Because it's like, okay, well, who does he have to fight? Nobody's really paying for it, but if he's, if there's a purpose for the bout, like, oh, he has to win his belts back, is he going to win it back, yada, 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 then he comes in and he's able to, get another check out of it. All those dudes are like soft. They're all soft.
Well,
It's
you
like
know
the
what,
heavyweight
Bishop?
division is whack.
It is. But you have to really think about it because at one point it was a crown jewel of boxing. Okay, it was honestly. Now, if another thing I have to look at, just like you had opened up with how the boxers in English are pretty much trash, and I could I could basically agree with that. But the thing is though, over in England, they're not considered trash. They will go to Wembley
Yeah.
Stadium and they will pay money. Correct me if I'm wrong. They will pay money. They'll go to the arena and see it. They'll buy the pay per views over
Yep.
in England.
Yep. And you know what? That's the part of it that's really bothering me about Joshua. And that's why at this stage of the game, he's a bum to me because that was a home fight for him. Okay?
Right.
You're the champion. And you got decisioned at home. That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen.
That's a good point.
I mean, let's be honest, man. If the champion is fighting at home, you gotta knock him out. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. The worst that'll happen with the champ is a draw. Okay? It'll be a robbery, but it'll be a draw. Everybody say, hey, well, he from England, fighting in England. Well, you didn't knock him out. What you think was gonna happen? And a unanimous decision at that.
Word.
Joshua's trash.
Yeah, but I'm sure there's a clause in there for the rematch, and then the rematch will come, and it'll be a build-up on, you're gonna get his belts back. Is this gonna be this? Is this gonna be that? And now you got two. Now you got two fights out of one. And at the end of the day, it's like people are still paying for it, and you suckered them into paying for two fights with two bums. You suckered them into it, because it's like, okay, the other dude that won is like, is he really better than him? It's like neither one of them are worth, the pay-per-view. But it's like the build up for it and so forth. They're both trash.
But you know what? Usyk isn't trash though. He's actually a solid boxer.
Yes, solid boxer and solid skill set. But is that the bar that we're looking at now? It's like if the heavyweight division.
He's not a heavyweight either. He's a light heavyweight cruiserweight, and he saw them soft dudes or that soft dude, and said his camp said, "Yo, we can take his belt and we can get paid. So let's go take his belt."
So not even a heavyweight.
And like the person on our Facebook said, Europe celebrates mediocrity.
Yeah,
that's messed up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the heavyweight division. The heavyweight division, when it was heavyweight division, was known for dudes coming in there and somebody's getting their head knocked off. These guys, it's like, as soon as somebody get hit, they falling down. It's like the Klitschko. As soon as somebody get hit, they on the floor, they grabbing, hugging, and it's like, and like Chandler just said, it's like you don't lose your belt on a decision. That doesn't even make sense. It doesn't even make sense. You don't lose your belt on a decision. Even if people are throwing stuff in the ring and they don't agree with the decision, they're throwing. It's like you don't lose your belt on a decision. They were like, it wasn't my night. It wasn't the best performance. His style. They make up all kind of excuses. His style was a difficult style to match with because he's not a typical heavyweight. He's very light on his feet. And he was, playing very defensive. Whatever. You don't lose your title on a decision.
Hey, he used the Manny Pacquiao excuse. He won't stand still. He too fast.
Here he goes. Here he goes with the Pacquiao.
Joshua's an enigma. And like Chandler said, he's soft. You should have won at home. Everybody else who I know, even Adrian Broner won at home.
Yeah.
It's messed up, man. What a comparison.
Hey, listen, but he is just not that guy. Fury, I think, wants the belts. He wants the smoke. He wants all those guys.
Yes, he does.
Wilder, if I look at it, whatever Wilder, his shortcomings, I think he would tap that jaw of Joshua's if they ever fight.
Yeah,
which they missed, and they missed the boat on that.
Right.
But
Exactly.
the thing with Joshua is, and we said this a couple of years ago, it doesn't look like Joshua likes fighting. He does it because he has a talent for it and it makes him money.
Right.
But I don't think he loves being a boxer. It's like when you want to fight, it's like a dude punching the clock. You know what I'm saying? All right, boom, time to clock in. All right, break time.
Well, to the Facebook user, soccer is a real sport.
Soccer is a real sport. Stop it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's an apple. That. That's an apple and an orange. We comparing them, but soccer is a sport.
Right.
But Wilder, I got no use for Wilder either. Because listen, there's you came in there with a 50,000-pound headpiece. You couldn't breathe. You got out there. Oh, and it was Mark Breland's fault. Nothing was his fault, and nothing is ever his fault. And that's my issue with Wilder. When he wasn't really being promoted, it wasn't his fault. It wasn't his fault. When he wasn't his fault. Nothing, dude. Take some damn responsibility for something.
Exactly.
Care. Okay, you lost that fight because you decided to wear an 800-pound headpiece that you couldn't breathe in. Okay.
It wasn't even that. It wasn't even that. It wasn't even that.
Saved your life because you leaking from your ear. You're getting your ass whooped all over the ring, but somehow I want to go out on a shield. Okay, man, miss me with Wilder too.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, they all flawed. They all burgers. Joshua, what I wanted to say was Joshua is a version of Klitschko's, and the Klitschko's are a version of Lennox Lewis. But like we say in film, when you go to the next person, you're downgrading. So you downgrade from the Klitschko's who had super glass jaws, but they pretty much beat everybody they were supposed that was put in front of them.
Right.
Yeah.
Anthony Joshua, you lost to my next door neighbor, man. You lost to Julio. I mean Ruiz.
Julio.
Yeah, you lost to Julio. Wow. Shout out to my man Julio, wherever you are, brother. I miss you. But
my 600-pound life. My 600-pound life.
Oh my God, damn, dude! Did you really do that? Did you just do that?
Have you seen Ruiz lately? He looks like the dude that ate Ruiz.
No, actually, I think he lost weight. But the last time I checked, he had went down in weight, and he's been in the gym. But
really,
okay,
till he gets that check though. Once he gets the check,
then it's a wrap at that point.
He's been in the gym. That doesn't mean that he's been working out. He's been in the gym.
Right.
It was like they got a buffet in the back of the gym.
Right.
Stupid. It's a buffet.
On the treadmill one step at a time, looking at the clock. It's time to go yet?
Right.
Yes.
Oh, can I address Trilla and Teofimo Lopez and how they messing that fight up?
I had no interest in that whatsoever. So go right ahead. You're on your own with this one.
Listen, Trilla. You want to be in a boxing game, you do not set up a major fight for a rising star like Teofimo Lopez on Monday night in the middle of fall in October. It's Monday Night Football, you morons. Nobody is going to watch a boxing match. Major boxing matches are not on Monday nights.
No.
So y'all messing that up, and now I heard they're moving the fight to a Saturday, the 16th. Right. It's going to be in the Barclays, but it's also going to be they're going to have a versus before the fight.
What?
Nobody wants to see that. Nobody want to see old dusty rappers.
Okay, but wow. You know what? I'm not even touching that, man. It's too much to unpack. That's too much to unpack.
And Teofimo, get away from Bob Arum and ESPN, bro.
Nah, let him stay there and wind up.
And Trilla should never get a contract to get the venue and put the money up. That's because they have no clue about boxing.
Well, the thing is, Mac, I honestly didn't think Trilla was dealing with like active boxers like that. I thought it was for like washed up fighters and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect.
They're trying to get in. Well, they're trying to edge their way into the boxing game. They do have they are the company that does the verses. So now they're trying to mix. Now you're trying to mix old hip hop and old R&B with boxing.
Yeah. Do they represent the Holyfield?
Maybe.
Exactly.
Maybe, but Tiafimo.
Somebody washing dishes?
I guess so.
Well, I like Tiafimo. And
all right, stop washing dishes, whoever that is, please. Thank you.
And whatever they're doing with him is not good.
Yeah. Good.
Well, what's next?
Well, what's next is simply this. We're gonna go to the New York Yankees. I figured this is where Dom would chime in, but I don't know where he's at. We're gonna talk about the New York Yankees and their push for the AL wildcard spots. They're looking. I think they're at the top, the first one.
Yeah.
But obviously they're also could be in the running for the second one as well. You know what I mean? And I think they owe it all to Bronxy, the turtle.
You know what, man? That was the dumbest story, man.
I knew you would get pissed off at that when I said it. I knew it. I knew I was gonna push your buttons with that Bronxy story. I was like, come on, really? We're doing this now?
Let's not give Giancarlo Stanton any credit for carrying his damn team on his back.
Exactly.
Like he did last year. Let's not give him any credit. This is a damn turtle.
Yeah. However, Chandler, though, man, I thought that we were talking, and we didn't really think that they had a chance to reach this point.
I still don't. We still don't know if they can.
Because there's only like 5 or 6 games left during the season.
They could just as easily lose 5 out of 6 as they could.
Well,
where are they? Where are they in the wild card standing?
They're game up. Exactly. Before start of play today, they're game up.
Right. And how many games overall in their division are they at? I know they're in second place.
Doesn't matter. They're not gonna get the division already clinched.
Got you.
Yeah.
So it's the wild card or nothing.
Basically, that's what it comes down to.
So Chandler and Dom, who's pitching in these next 5 games? Who's the starters?
You got Cole. You got
schedule.
Tyson, you got Kluber. I don't know if they'll let Hill pitch. Although Tyson left the game early tonight, I just saw because I can't watch it. I just moved in. I was taking that.
Yeah.
Tyson left early, but I mean, Herman is back. Severino is back. You have enough. There's more than enough pitching on that staff right now, where they can piece together some games. The bullpen is right. Chapman looks to be back, but that team has been so up and down that they can just lose 5 out of 6 is win 5 out of 6. And honestly, I think they'll make the playoffs, but I don't see them going far. There's just something about this team that's missing. I don't know what it is, but something's missing.
Dom, you've been silent on your boys, man. What's going on?
As long as they pitch Cole before Saturday, we'll be okay.
Yeah,
because you'll need him to pitch that one game in the wild card. So I'm not really worried. I kind of hope it's the Yankees and Boston, even though Boston may have the home field advantage.
Right.
I think the Yankees, after them first 6 games, they basically own the Red Sox.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. I think they swept them, the last 2 series? And won some games in between. Boston will, no matter how it ends up, if they're tied, let's say that. If the Red Sox are 1 game behind the Yankees, then all bets are out the window. The game will be played at Yankee Stadium.
Right.
But if they're tied, it's played at Fenway, which kind of benefits us the way Stanton is playing.
Yeah.
Something everybody seems to be overlooking now. 275, 33 home runs, almost 90 RBIs. We had him for dead how many times?
Right.
Yep.
I think the Yankees have me. I'm a Yankee fan, so
no doubt.
Yeah, I had a funny. I didn't think they would catch the Rays. They had too many ups and downs, and even when the Yankees went on that 13-game winning streak, they only cut the lead to like 2 or 3 games.
Yeah.
So that was scary in itself. But I have faith that.
Let me ask you guys a question.
They'll win the wild card.
Okay, I feel you. Let me ask you a question. You just mentioned Stanton. I haven't really been watching. I'm not gonna lie, but has he been in the field?
Yeah.
Or has he been strictly? So he's been in the field.
which is why he's playing well. And like we said,
there you go.
Years ago, why he's going to stay healthy. They took a guy who was an everyday player and they turned him into basically a pinch hitter.
Right.
In his prime. That's a hard job to wait 2 hours in between their bats, especially for a big dude who's going to get stiff and doesn't know what to do with himself. So now that Stan is playing pretty much, well, I'd say semi-regularly, but they still DH him, some days or whatever. But now that he's playing the field, he looks like the guy we saw in Miami. It's funny how that works.
Exactly. That's why I wanted to ask that question because, like I said, I haven't been watching.
The most scariest thing, and me and Chandler harped on this for a while now. When your outfield don't consist of, somebody better than Stanton, it's kind of weird. I mean, now especially, you could put Gallo in center, Judge in right, Stanton in left. I mean, you show me three better guys. I mean, I always say this. I love Brett Gardner, but he's, 2 years removed from the all-timers game. So I never understood that, but he's been playing. He hit 3 home runs, drove in 10 RBIs over the weekend.
Yep.
This guy needs to be playing, period. It's just that simple.
Right. Exactly.
He avoided the injury bug most of the year. And like I said, he's hitting 275, 33 home runs, almost 90 RBIs. For a guy, the bridge jumpers, them Yankee fans that sit by the bridge all year, they had this guy for dead like 2 years in a row. I mean, let it go.
I got a question for y'all. What do y'all think of the move with Gleyber, moving him back to second base?
Oh, and also, David, your mic is live as well. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, Dave, something else we said 2 years ago.
What's up?
Something else we said 2 years ago.
Right.
What did we say?
Yeah.
You know what?
And they moved DJ to third.
Third, yeah. We don't. If Didi, right, doesn't wind up playing that season, right? Let's say Didi had gotten hurt, or they had let Didi go because remember, it was Didi was a short, which is why Torres went to second. Imagine if that had never happened. Imagine how they'd have been talking about busting everything for him. I think the best thing and kind of the worst thing for him being a shortstop was him finding out that he preferred second base. I think that was actually in many ways the best and the worst.
And it's his best position.
But he had never played it until that
I know.
season.
Right.
So that's crazy.
Right. It's amazing. He was touted as a shortstop.
Right.
But
yeah,
we've seen this all the time in baseball, basketball. You may be touted as something, but when you get to the big leagues, it's a different ball game.
Right.
That's to me, that's his natural spot now. I mean, again, show me a better second baseman than him. He's a decent fielder. He's
got a good arm.
Hitting. Yeah, but you could put LeMahieu anywhere except shortstop. So whoever the Yankees put at shortstop, the biggest thing was they should have never let Didi go.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Especially knowing you had LeMahieu, especially after Andujar got hurt. I told y'all last year, Porcello had his greatest season ever in his damn career, and he was the next Brooks Robinson, Mike Schmidt.
Exactly.
And what happened? Really, it was bound to happen.
Y'all know who
he was a platoon player. He's been a platoon player his whole career.
Right.
And now all of a sudden he has a good year. He's the next, thing. But
just like I gotta attack the Luke Voigt fans. Stan. He batting 240, and I look at I look at his stats specifically every day, and I see a lot of 0 for 4s, 1 for 5s.
Whenever he's
0
playing.
for 3s when he plays.
Yeah.
And he batting 240, and
listen,
y'all really was rocking with Luke Voigt because he had a little hot moment.
Right.
Well, the thing was,
like Porcello.
When he first came, he was going the other way. And you could see that if he would keep that up, you had the makings of a good, not great, not all-star, but a good major league hitter. Okay?
Right.
Y'all see them commercials, his new BMW commercials. He got his hair down. He took hold the crack in the back. Oh, it's perfect. And I'm driving along like a BMW, and I'm hitting a home run, and I feel it one with the universe. Nah, bro, we need a base hit. That's all we need you to do. Get a base hit. Or better yet, field your position. There's a concept.
Horrible.
That's the reason I don't buy a lot of that. Not, I'll talk sports on social media, but I don't really go too hard with the Yankees because I find myself being amused at these fans. They've been at the bridge all year. The Yankees are closing in on 90-something wins, and they're at the bridge all year. It's like they almost want the Yankees to lose.
They do.
Of all the teams I root for, I'm never gonna do that with the Yankees. I don't give a shit if they're in last place. I ain't going that route. But these people, it's the one good thing is Judge and Stanton have
played well.
Right, and they basically avoided that injury. That one injury, that side, they get an ingrown toenail and they miss 42 games.
Exactly.
They both basically avoided that this year. And, people can say what they want about, what's his name? The guy they just picked up. I just mentioned him, the outfielder.
Gallo.
Who?
Gallo.
Yeah, Gallo. We could. He leads the league in strikeouts. We knew that when we got him. Yep. So when he strikes out 2 times a game, don't get upset. He is what he is. I mean,
right. But he's a solid outfielder.
Yeah,
he's a gold glove.
Right.
And he's power. Right. And he fits the lineup and he fits the clubhouse.
Yep.
Right.
And he fits that short porch in right field.
Yeah.
There you go.
We didn't get him to hit 300. Whoever thought that was out of their damn mind. The same people that thought Urshela was going to be the next Brooks Robinson.
Right. And they love and defend Luke Voigt.
Oh, yeah. But they finally gave up on what's his name. And I'm happy to see that. That Frazier
on
kid.
Who?
Clint Frazier.
Well, he got hurt again.
He's hurt again.
Yeah. Again.
It's a concussion stuff. It's the concussion stuff.
Right. So Chandler, do you think he should not play baseball anymore because he keeps injuring himself? He's probably had 4 or 5 documented concussions.
Documented is the word because he's not telling you when he's hurt, and that's the problem. Is for going back to his very first concussion, he played for 6 weeks before he told him he couldn't see. He was having vision and all of that. What he has to do is stop lying about his health.
Right.
When he gets hurt, he needs to be honest. That's his problem. He's trying so hard, dude. If you can't play baseball when your brain is injured. Can't do it.
Right.
He has a world of talent. Honestly, I think maybe the best thing for him would be to get the hell away from the Yankees. Go somewhere where the pressure, all of that stuff, where he can get healthy. But honestly, listen, I see a pattern here with the concussions, and we've seen guys leave sports with concussion issues before.
Yeah.
I don't know if he plays again. Honestly, don't.
Mm-hmm.
I wish him the best. Don't get me wrong, but it never worked out for him. Whether it was the injuries, the pressure, it never really worked for the kid. I feel for him. Don't get me wrong, but he had some golden opportunities because, like I always say, before the Yankees got Gallo, the Yankees were short in the outfield.
Yep.
When they didn't want to play Stanton.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out who was going to be their outfield. And I thought in the beginning that Frazier would get a spot. But that injury
didn't happen. Going forward, do you keep Gallo and you get rid of Hicks?
Well, Gallo's under contract, so he's going to be here another season. You know how I feel about Hicks.
Good.
I can't wait for a bag of balls.
Yeah, Hicks, you already know.
But
I have nothing against Hicks. I just think Gallo is a better player at this point.
Right. Right.
Hicks gave the Yankees. He's another one. He's been around for a minute. And remember,
he's always injured.
Yeah. Again, he's always injured. He's he's got some wear and tear on him. He's a good outfielder. Don't get me wrong. But again, Gallo's under contract. So will they even bring Hicks back? I don't know if he's under contract.
Yeah, he is. 3 more years.
Yeah. So there you go. He'll be a platoon outfielder. Hopefully,
he'll be a 4th outfielder DH.
Making starter money.
Yeah, but listen, the one time the Yankees go against the grain and sign guys to extensions before their contracts are up, Severino and Hicks. How'd that work out?
Right. Let me bring my man David into this discussion. What's going on, bro?
Hey, what's up, fellas? How you doing? Good.
All right,
Good.
you heard that.
I like that
Good to
background,
be on.
sir.
Oh, thank
Yes,
you.
indeed. Good to have you.
I like that hat, sir. And I like Dom's hat too, because y'all know I like both teams.
That's right. That's right.
Hey, David.
Yo, you got your new digs and everything, right?
There you go. There you go.
Look at him. He's smiling. He cheating. We ain't never seen you smile.
Before Dave gets started, I actually spoke to Chandler right after we moved in. I was like, "Damn, man, you glowing like Britney Spears." That lockdown. That brother was giggling. He was actually walking and talking. I was like, "Whoa,
that's good."
Yeah.
So
he's happy.
Listen, it's a load off of him. You don't have to deal with a lot of BS.
Word.
Well, absolutely.
It's nice,
indeed.
Listen, it took me 5 years to get back to this point, man. I ain't
okay.
this
yeah, man.
That's what's up.
All right. Well, it's looking good on you. It's looking good on you, brother. Good to see.
For sure.
Look at that smile.
For sure.
Yeah.
Cheesing like a month. Could you stop cheesing, man?
Hey, look.
Make me want to reach over and rub his head.
Yo, where the dog at? Oh, okay.
Sleep.
Dog,
laying down.
Dog is happy
eating
too.
sleep.
Yep.
Oh boy,
Hell yeah.
Everybody comfortable, huh?
Yeah.
I gotta say something though, man. I really thank y'all for the last few weeks. Y'all have kept me almost sane.
Oh man,
insane.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
For sure,
y'all have really kept
You're
me
welcome,
up.
brother.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Chandler. Of course,
all good.
Just checking on me and just trying to walk and talk. Sounded like he needed a CPAP. He was dumb. I'm feeling good. I said, God bless you. God bless you.
You guys are hilarious, man. God bless. Exactly. Yo, so let me get back. Let me
So
get back to this thing.
What are we talking about? The Yankees?
Yeah. If you care to, if not, I could always move on. It's all.
No. I mean, it's good to see that they were able to. They had a little stumble, and good to see that they were able to right the ship a little bit, and they got that big series with Toronto. And hey, you know what I said going into the season, I'm not rooting against them. I don't understand now. This guy, Clint Frazier, you're talking about the concussions. See, I don't really follow it like that. How did he get hurt?
Diving for balls.
Okay.
And I said this in the chat a while. It was a couple of months ago. He dove for a ball, and after that, he didn't look right to me. And I said, "Watch and see, Frazier's hurt." Like a month later, he finally tells them he can't see.
He can't see. Yeah,
he's having big problems.
Yeah, well, that's a problem if you're playing baseball. The ball's coming at you almost 100 miles an hour, and you can't see. You can't. If you're not comfortable in the box, I don't care what the situation is. If you don't have that comfortability in the box, then you're gonna be bailing out on things and not picking up the pitches. So I can understand. It's a hard thing. Athletes have obviously they have an ego and they don't want to. Most of them don't want to admit when they're hurt, especially in such a major spotlight like New York, and if you have a series of them, then they're always hurt again. So they don't want to say anything, but you got to put your health first, and if nothing else, that the recent 2 years of 2020 has proven to us that health comes first, and I don't care what it is that you're doing. So I wish him well. I mean, as a Met fan, I've banged my head up against the wall enough times, and I'm not concussed as far as I know it. But everybody's a little different. But hey, more power to the Yankees representing New York. I must be concussed because I'm talking like this, but
Hey, I got on a Met shirt right now.
I know, I saw it. I saw it. Yeah.
David, now you know what I think the Mets should do. They need to fire everybody associated with Sandy Alderson first and foremost.
Yeah.
Yes, they should.
Word.
Yep.
I think maybe at that point, maybe you give Rojas another shot, but if they don't, I won't break my heart, honestly.
Right.
I agree.
The biggest thing is, I think you have to keep Baez because listen, Lindor is going to be a second baseman in 2 years anyway. Okay, so he will move back. He'll move to second for Baez.
Yeah.
If you have an infield of Lindor, Baez, I don't think the Yankees gonna keep Rizzo. It's stupid for them not to, but I don't think they will. Okay, you get Rizzo up in there. That's a hell of an infield. Okay.
Yeah. It is.
Yep.
It is. You know, we've got some good players on the infield. We just don't have any outfielders.
Right.
Well,
You know, so when you guys were talking about the glut of outfielders on the Yankees side, and I'm looking at the Mets, like, you know, Conforto might walk.
He will.
And
would you let him walk?
Yes,
But,
I would.
And Dave, here's the thing. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah.
Mets fans, for some reason, think Conforto, if he leaves the Mets, he's going to go and be a superstar. I don't see that. I see him being a good player because he is a he's a good player.
He's an okay player. He's not a corner outfielder that you build a team around. And I understand Met fans. Trust me, I've been a Met fan for 50 years, but we're used to that other shoe dropping, and as soon as we have the Justin Turner syndrome and all the others that have gone.
I don't think he's Justin Turner though. He just
I don't think so either. But the point of it is Met fans are so used to bad things happening, and we let a guy walk who is not really that great. He goes to another system. It's an organizational thing. He might go somewhere else and be around some better organizational people, and also where he doesn't necessarily have to be the man. Like Turner went to LA, didn't have to be the man, and then he was able to be comfortable. And ultimately they're all major leaguers, so they all have some talent. But if you don't have to be, not everybody's built to be a leader or someone that you build a team around. So look, on a personal level, I wish him success wherever he goes. That's life of it. But I'm not going to tie up my franchise trying to keep him.
So who do you replace him with if you're the Mets? And also, I saw your post. I didn't get a chance to comment about DeGrom. DeGrom, they even said this would probably happen to him. That he would suffer arm injuries. He's been battling injuries all this year. He's a great pitcher. I love him. But are you going to tie up money on him because now he's 32, 33?
He's 33, and
so you're starting to hit that slope where he peaked, and is he gonna go steadily down, or is he gonna stay consistently good?
I think a healthy DeGrom is going to be good wherever he is. He's just that type of pitcher. I think that I don't know. Maybe it's age for me, but I'm at the point now where. I'm not really sweating over, these guys walking away. If they want to go somewhere else, and they've said that they don't want it, they don't want to renegotiate, and I'm going to test the market. Then test the market. Do you? I'm still going to be a fan. Do I want us to hold on to talent as much as we can? Of course I do, but I'm not going to lose sleep over these guys. I think I've gotten to the point in my life where I'm open for people to do what they have to do for themselves. And as a fan, sure, it stings a little bit if you lose a guy and then he goes off and becomes dominant somewhere else, or you think, oh damn, if we had so and so. But I think at this point of my life, and with everything else going on, I'm not going to go to that proverbial bridge every time somebody decides to take a contract somewhere else. But what I am more concerned about is organizationally, how do we replace these guys from, whether it's through the draft or scouting and making trades, good deals. That's what the better organizations do. That's why teams like LA and the Yankees and other teams, they may have a down period, but it's not long. They don't go through these decade long of doldrums and drag their fans through it, because they know they have a plan B, they have a plan C. The Mets seem like they have a plan A and 1A, and then when that doesn't work out, then they're back to crap again. And then but they want to shine it up and tell the fans, oh, but we're this and we're that. They got a lot of talent that may be 3 years away.
The Mets don't build right. They generally, Chandler. They generally get players. They get a certain group of players, and they might, we've seen the Mets ascend to where they even go to the World Series.
Yeah. And
then what do they do right after that? They let people go, and then they fall back into the abyss.
Yeah, you know what? And they all. And Ken, I'm sorry to cut you off, but when you mentioned the World Series, I'm thinking about Daniel Murphy. Okay, Daniel Murphy. Daniel Murphy is not a superstar. He had a hell of a postseason run, a historic postseason run. But sometimes we get enamored with that too. We get to the point. Now Daniel Murphy is the next coming of whoever, and Met fans get how can we let him go? Okay, he left. He went to the Nationals, and where is he now? I don't know. But
he stayed there another 2 seasons, and then he injured himself.
Right, but he never came back to. I mean, he killed the Mets every time when we played him. He definitely killed the Mets.
He did.
But in terms of I look at losses and gains, and the Mets. I think it was more than just letting Daniel Murphy go. It's that that caused the Mets not to return in 2016 to what they did in 2015. But I think it's bottom line is, I don't care who they bring in, the organization has difficulty sustaining
and building a culture.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
absolutely.
No, they have a culture. They have a culture.
They have a culture of losing.
Because right now, you got six shortstops that are going to be free agents. They're going to get big money. Teams aren't going to want to pay. The Mets could make a couple of trades. Number one, you got to trade Dom Smith. You have to. You have to trade Dom Smith because his value is as high as it's ever.
Right.
He had a bad season. He's having a bad season this year, or subpar season.
Still very high because everybody knows. And plus, he can hit. He's a left-hander who can hit left-handers. He's a valuable commodity.
Right.
He can play first base, and he's a good, serviceable to good outfielder. Okay, so you can trade him and get something back. They got 2 shortstops in their system. Okay, Shervin Newton, Ronnie Mauricio.
Right.
Yeah.
These are A+ prospects.
Yeah.
You can get some things for them. Okay, you can get some things for these guys. So they have pieces. Conforto was a opposite field hitter. And then suddenly everybody wanted him to start hitting home runs, and he turned into what he is now. So he's going to leave the Mets. They're going to let him go back to his natural hitting style, and he won't have the whole Daniel Murphy, Justin Turner conversation again.
Yeah.
But he's not a good fit on his team because what they want from him, he can't give them.
Right.
Okay.
They want him to hit. They want him to try to hit 30, 35 home runs.
Right. Yeah, he's not Bryce Harper. He's Michael Conforto. Let him be Michael Conforto.
That's right. That's right.
And the Grom thing is organizational malfeasance. We said, David, we said it back in what? March, April, June? Shut him down.
Yep.
Shut him down. They kept messing with it. Well, we're going to ramp him back up. Oh, he hurt again. Ramp him up. Oh, he hurt again. Dude, it's like David said. The problem isn't the players. It's not even really the manager. It's the people above them. Because it's a top-down thing. Leadership. Bad leadership down just like good leadership does.
Yeah.
Speaking of Stanton, he just hit a 3-run home run.
Oh, look at that.
Okay.
He slapped a bomb. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
You know,
All right.
not having TV
Exactly. I'm not mad at that.
I got to say one thing about the Mets, though. They started out so great with everything we're saying. Don't have this, don't have that. They started out like gangbusters. I thought they was going to run away with this. I don't know what happened.
You know what, Dom, I have to disagree with it, and only because I think they fooled a lot of people because the whole NL East was floundering right around 500.
They all had injuries,
and so nobody really took the lead, and then Atlanta stepped up, which Atlanta does, and the Mets sort of still floundering around that, and then they went in a tailspin.
Mm-hmm.
So it appeared that I saw a stat that I saw it yesterday that the Mets will be the first team in history that had the longest time in first place, 103 games, they said, and then to end up with a losing record. So no other team had been in first place for as long as the Mets had in one season, and then ended the season with a losing record. And when they lost to and lost their 82nd, that clinched that record for them. So that was the first time in history. I saw that stat. I looked at it once, and I didn't, look at it again. I saw all.
Good Lord, man!
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Mets doing the Met.
Yeah, here we go.
Exactly.
Here we go. Put your face on camera when you say that.
I've been saying
that's horrible.
I've been saying it like when they were close to first place, and I was getting all these text messages, and everybody is like flying high and saying how the Yankees should be doing this and the Yankees should be doing that. And all, I mean, I was just like, wow, like you guys are giving advice on what the Yankees should be doing and talking about they have no excuses and they just need to play better and this and that. It's a classic case of laugh now, cry later.
No, let me just say this to my brother. There, winning brings about a lot of clarity because I didn't hear you being that clear on what the situation was going to be when the Yankees were losing all those games in a row. You kind of like just sat back and threw a meme up there. But now that
it's always easy. Yes, it's always easy to kick a dog when he's sick and he's down. It's always easier to do that. So it's like, what am I going to say? What am I going to say when Yankees are going through a tough time? It's like, they're going through a tough time, but it's the Yankees. Historically, the Yankees have been a successful franchise. Correct?
Yes,
so at some point,
absolutely. So
at some point, they're going to turn it around.
When are you going to stop kicking that poor dog of the Mets?
Probably after the season.
Yeah,
still got a little bit more.
Yeah,
still got a little bit more time.
He's evil.
Yeah, just
evil.
Just mean. Just mean.
You know what I'm saying?
It hurts now.
He wasn't hugged.
No, it hurts now.
Exactly.
It hurts now. It hurts now when somebody digs in there. It hurts now. So
let's do some moving on. We're gonna get in the lane of the NBA. Okay. All I need is 2 words, Kyrie Irving.
Let's let Bishop have the floor so he can get it all out.
Yeah, get it all out.
Yeah, so
here's a dog. Kick this one.
Yeah, for me, this is novellas in action.
Here we go.
I'm all for it. I mean, the season hadn't started yet. I was wondering where the melodrama would come from, and they have not disappointed. And I don't want to, as I said to my buddy there, I don't want them to break the band up. I want them to keep them all together. He's like, this is only the start. This is only the start of the season. So
they might have to break it up because one of the band won't be able to play.
Yeah, but
at least not at home.
But his buddy doesn't want them to leave, so it's like
not at home exactly.
They stuck between the rock and the hard place, and I got a feeling that the NBA is gonna kind of like loosen that up. I got a feeling that they're gonna kind of like loosen it up and kind of like say, hey, just make those guys go through extra testing or something.
But they can't.
Too much money.
They can't. This is the city ordinances. You know what I'm saying? This is
state laws.
State laws.
State laws, bro.
State laws. Next thing you know. Yeah.
Here's my thing with Kyrie. Kyrie at times is well intentioned. He's an enigma.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
he drives people crazy because he's a bit, I guess, somewhat flighty. And for me, I'm not really mad or emotional about what he's saying. It's just me going, it's Kyrie, and it is what it is.
But in this case, guys, it was a slippery slope from the get-go. We could blame Kyrie because of what he says and what he does all the time.
But Dom, other players have said similar as he has said from the NBA. Go ahead.
This is where I was saying the slippery slope, because one, the NBA didn't mandate it. They tried today. The union blocked it. So the cities and the states, wherever you want to pick, San Francisco, New York, for example, that's their city and state ordinance. That's their rules and regulations. So in other words, Kyrie Irving could say, hey, the NBA ain't making me do it. But here's where the slope gets slippery. If this builds, because they're feeding us numbers now, don't ask me where they're getting the numbers. 90% of the league has been vaccinated.
Right.
Do you believe that? If you do, you do. If you don't, you don't. But the part we're missing is what happens now. When you talk about collective bargaining, let's say a guy signed a contract in 2019, pre-COVID, 4 years, guaranteed. What are you going to do now? Say, okay, if you don't play 41 at home, which in the Nets case, that means he would miss all the games that they play at home, plus the games they play at the Garden. So now what do you do? You just bring him on the road, and then what do? You going to try to renegotiate his contract?
Right. You don't
and
have
say we're only going to pay you for 39 games?
But Dom,
this is where the slope gets slippery. And this is the thing I don't think nobody thought about. This was a can of worms that was bound to get open. Again, we could blame Kyrie, but at the end of the day, vaccinated, unvaccinated, whichever route y'all chose, I'm vaccinated, but I still believe in somebody has a choice. Right. And how do you tell an individual? How do I tell Dave, which people are doing now? This is beyond the NBA, that if you don't get vaccinated, you can't come to work. Well, how they taking away your right to earn a living? And the funny thing is, people that busted their ass to get to work and support these companies when there wasn't no vaccine, now you're flipping the script on them. So again, this could become a legal battle. I don't even know if it's really legal for you to do that, to stop somebody from earning a living because of what your guidelines are. Again, we still have a freedom of choice in this country. Well, take it however you want, but
that's the problem. See that right there, because David, before COVID, right?
Yep.
Work in the school system. If a child didn't have their school, their vaccination, could they go to school?
No, but here's
let me keep going with this, because this is pissing me off, right? Is suddenly now is people getting their kids vaccinated for generations,
right?
Generations. You've had to have certain shots to do certain things for generations, okay? But this now, because it got politicized,
there you go.
Now it's about my right to this and my right to that. But the same, and I'm just going to keep it to the athletes. These same athletes talking about, I don't know what's in it. But when they gave you that shot so you could not feel that pain, you didn't ask what was in that. Okay? These people talking about, my body's a triple. When you was buying that little baggie from that 17-year-old corner, did you ask what was in that? Okay? So I'm not trying to hear that nonsense. You know what I'm saying? And the contract thing, there is a clause in every contract that says conduct detrimental to the team. If you know that you are going to impact the team negatively by choosing not to do something, I'm taking your money.
Well, that's an opinion. That's an opinion, though, because again, before this whole pandemic thing started, I'm quite certain that there's nothing in those contracts that say anything about, well, it's mandatory. The team gets to dictate what your whether you take vaccinations, what the team gets to dictate this, the team gets to dictate that. That money is guaranteed. So what's probably going to happen is they're probably going to have to loosen up this mandate thing. And guess who makes those decisions? The same people who own the teams. They impact the states. So they're going to have, because it's impacting their money. And it's like, again, if if they were able to conduct the NBA with these guys not having the vaccine and they weren't getting infected, why is it now that you're mandating that they have to get it in order to not? You can still get infected, so it's not like it's going to stop you from.
The vaccination is not about. Listen, you take flu. People take flu shots, still get the flu. And
Right.
That's another statement I keep hearing. Yeah, but somebody got vaccinated, still got COVID. People take flu shots, still get the flu. It's not about not getting it. And okay, that's the nonsense that goes on with this. I'm sorry, David. Go ahead.
I want to chime in on this because I want to respond to what you said. And look, I'm vaccinated, and the Department of Education, the city, well, the state has mandated that we all have to be vaccinated, or else as of Friday is the deadline. If you're not, if you haven't uploaded your vaccination status into the portal by Friday, then you will be removed from payroll. So my thing with it is, as someone who is vaccinated, I'm not impacted by that, but I have colleagues who are not and are not intending to. The argument that you made, Chandler, and I understand that, about other vaccines and children have to be vaccinated before they go into the school system, that predated them. So if you look at someone who has been teaching for 30 years and then you impose something new onto them, it's one thing if you're coming into a system where this existed. And then you say, well, if you want to work in a school, you have to have X, Y, and Z. It's another thing if you're already in that system and now you're telling people if you want to remain, you have to have X, Y, and Z. And that's where people are now saying that they are against being forced to do something that they didn't have to do when they initially took the position. And so that is the conflict that people are having. And I look, I'm in the system. So I'm dealing with both sides of it, because on the one side, I'm supportive of my colleagues' right to make a decision for themselves. On the other side, though, is that it is impacting the school, because when these teachers cannot come into the building, they have to be replaced because someone has to cover their classes now. And the mayor is talking about all these substitutes. Where are they? They don't exist. We got 1.1 million school children. We have several thousand schools. And he's talking about all these substitutes. I'm going to tell you right from the horse's mouth that these substitutes are not taking the positions. The payroll secretaries are contacting these substitutes saying, we need you to come in, and they are not taking the jobs, or they have found a place and they lock them up. So, and when I don't mean legally, I mean they said, I want you to stay with us for the entire year. So now they are off the market. They have agreed to stay at this particular school. So now the better schools are snatching up all these positions that the mayor is talking about exist out there. And lastly, I'll say, not everybody, but some people are substitutes for a reason. And so into the school year, you have someone that, say, teaches AP history. They are skilled in teaching a class that leads to an examination, a national examination. Now you say that person cannot come into the building. Who's replacing them? What happens to those children? So it is definitely a disruption. But the original point that I'm making is, I understand your argument, Chandler, and I agree to an extent. I think that the difference is that you have people who, when they signed up to work in a school, this was not on the table. And now which is different than enrolling your child in a school where this rule exists that you're mandated to have vaccinations, and you understand that going into it.
But they've added vaccinations over the years.
They
added
Yeah.
not like this. When was the last time that they mandated something, a vaccination?
Oh God, I think what
Polio.
when I was a kid, it was one of the ones they added when I was a kid.
And we haven't attended school. Some of us haven't attended school in 40 years. So so that is my point. I've worked in the system for 32 years.
Okay.
In the time that I started in 1990, they have not. This is the first time that they have mandated something, and not given me the choice. Right. Well, you obviously have a choice. You have a choice whether to make money or not.
What I have a question about is, and this is not just the school system. This is the hospitals. This is all of the places that they're trying to mandate this. It's like, first and foremost, you guys were being forced to come and work in the school when the schools were open, and there was no protection, there was no PPE, there was no plan. You guys were on the front lines. They weren't paying you shit. Just before the pandemic, teachers nationally were protesting because they weren't being paid enough. So now you want to turn around and tell me, if you don't do what I tell you to do, I'm not going to pay you the penance that I've been paying you, because you're not getting paid enough anyway. And I'm going to force compliance on you. Okay, great point that you made. Where are they going to get all of these substitute teachers from when you already short-staffed? You're already short-staffed. Where are you going to get all these hospital workers from? You're already short-staffed from the COVID pandemic. The ones that haven't died, and the ones that are overworked, and now you're going to say, well, you won't have a job? It's ridiculous. Somebody didn't think this thing through.
Right.
Somebody didn't think it through. It was a power trip for somebody. It was a power trip for somebody.
Exactly
they didn't think it through.
Is.
And now they're going to have to go back to the table and kind of relax it, because, again, before this whole vaccine started, they had the NBA going. They had these guys out there on the court. They had these guys playing games. They tested them. They did everything. So, again, now all of a sudden you're going to say, well, we don't want to do that anymore? Yeah, good luck with that. Good luck with that.
To Chandler's point, and this is where it went totally haywire, when you politicized it.
Yes.
For example, now they have rules saying a high school or whatever age child can't play a sporting event unless they're vaccinated.
Yes.
But it was only 5 minutes ago when they was last on the list. But then when that magic date of June, July, and you didn't hit some government fictitious number of people being vaccinated, everything went off the rail then. Now we want kids that play AA ball and high school ball. Now they have to be vaccinated. But again, they were last on the list. Remember, guys, we weren't even on the list. Nobody on this phone call right now is 65 or above. We weren't even on the list. And here's where the slope gets even slippery. Because service members answer to the commander in chief. If you don't get vaccinated in the military, they're going to discharge you. They're not looking at attrition, readiness, training. We're going to put you out because you won't get vaccinated. Again, to Bishop's point, nobody thought this out. Again, guys, we were not on the list. And then all of a sudden, Dave and R, if I remember correctly, y'all get threatened to take the shot when you weren't even. What happened to the list?
Well, this is R was threatened. I wasn't. I got on it because I work in the school, and so my wife wasn't. So I was able to get it in that first round because I worked in the school. Now I was working from home. I wasn't even in the building. Wow. But I had the opportunity to get it, and initially I hadn't intended to, but talking to my doctor, and he kind of like put a bug in my ear, and I had other things that I wanted to do, and people that I know that I didn't want to compromise, and so I was able to do it. But to your point, it doesn't change your point, Dom. You're right about that. The kids, The kids are definitely the last on that list, and they're still. I work in a high school, so all of my students are above 12 years old.
Yes.
But the under 12s, and the building that I work in has a middle school in it, so we have under 12-year-olds in the building. They're not vaccinated, and let me just last thing I'll say about the schools, because I want to keep it sports, but don't believe the mayor. What the mayor is telling you about, we've got all these protocols and social distancing. There is no social distancing. I'm telling you firsthand, the schools are a shit show right now. They're not telling you this on the news because it's all political, but
exactly.
And not only that, not even talking about COVID precautions. I'm talking about the amount of tension that is going on. Colleagues looking at colleagues. You're not vaccinated. And now that you're not coming in the building, that means that we have to cover your class and all this. So there's a little bitterness going on in there, and people looking at people sideways, and everybody is tense right now, and it is a powder keg.
Right. Here's the last thing I'll say. When we go back to what I said about the military, right here at Fort Bragg, when this first kicked off, they was probably the first place in the country that got down to 15-year-olds. While we were still debating whether a 65 and under could get a shot, Fort Bragg had their vaccines being issued to 15-year-olds, doing 800 to 1,000 shots a day.
Wow.
But now you want to turn the tide and you want to threaten them. This is what I mean, guys, when I say this slippery slope.
Yeah.
There's certain things that you really got to be careful with, because one day somebody, and it might be a player in the NBA, that takes this to court and says, you know what, I still have rights. Yeah. I understand this is a private organization. The NBA is still a privately owned organization by owners. But in this case, the NBA could actually, if they didn't try to come out with that mandate today, the NBA could have took the hands-off approach and said, you know what, though we play in New York City, we don't make the rules.
Right.
So the stadium is in New York State. We don't make the rules. The NBA could have sat back and said, hey, let it be.
Right.
Let these players decide what they're going to do or not, because it's still their choice. Yeah. But it still becomes an issue with the team. What do you do when you go on the road? Are they going to extend the rosters to 20, where you have an extra 5 players for the 5 players that ain't vaccinated? When they come to New York, you can replace them. How do you coach this kind of nonsense?
Yeah, like a taxi squad.
It's really a bigger. Nobody wants to admit it, and if nobody saw this coming, then you had your head in the sand. We all heard what Bradley Beal said today with that ignorant shit.
Yeah,
but what if you mandate this, right? I'm wondering, what is your legal liability if you mandate this and someone comes, because now you're saying, I am providing you with a safe environment. So now I come into this environment, and if I contract the COVID and I have long-term impacts, you're liable, like you're legally liable.
And here's another thing.
It is a slippery slope.
The financial impact of this. If there's fans that can't get in the building because they're not vaccinated, that affects, let's just say, Madison Square Garden, their economy, New York City, New York State. And then you pick all the other places that are doing this. Now, the NBA will sit back with their Nobel Peace Prize and say, oh, we're still making money. Yeah, you are, but who else is? If the economy don't trickle down, then guess what you have? You have a product of confusion.
Yeah.
And people ain't going to buy it. We already gone through this, guys, pre-COVID with load management. Dave pays a ticket to see LeBron James or Kawhi Leonard play, and he ain't there. Now we're going to do this with COVID, and Dave can't play 41 games at the Garden? You think fans are going to buy this shit?
Really? And Dom, we haven't even talked about the daily fantasy in Vegas and all the money there. You know what I'm saying? We ain't even talked about that yet.
Yep.
Exactly.
Somebody's
it's going to have an economic impact, and we're already going under. For those that don't watch the stock market and the GDP, if you haven't noticed these numbers doing a steady nosedive, now you add this into it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't have the answers, guys. I'm just looking at it and I'm not a lawyer. I'm just looking at it as one day somebody's going to step up and say, I have the right to earn a living. I have a right to say no. How can you take that right away from me because I don't want to abide by your mandate?
Well, they'll change the language.
Guys, I'm just throwing that
out.
No,
you're right. It's going to be somebody's going to be the Kurt Flood of COVID.
They're gonna change the verbiage to say we strongly recommend, as opposed to you're required. We strongly recommend, and we'll do everything that we can to facilitate you getting the vaccine.
Yeah,
but that has to be done by the city and state, Bishop. That ain't
which is what's
going
to happen, because if you're impacting the franchises in your state, then that means you're impacting state revenue. If you're impacting the schools, that means that you're impacting the education system in your state. So it's like you're shooting yourself in the foot. You're cutting off your nose to spite your face, just so that you can have this unilateral wet dream to say that I'm mandating something that is impacting everyone's life, and it's just not going to work. It's just not going to work.
But we already know they don't care about the schools, Bishop. We already know that. This was before.
They don't care about anything. They don't care about anything. They don't care about anything. They had the NBA players out there when the pandemic was in full fledged. They had them out there talking about we'll just test them each day. We'll monitor. We'll trace and all of that stuff. We'll put them in the bubble. They don't care about anything.
That's my point, though. That's my point. The same players who are now talking about, oh, and this ain't safe and that ain't safe, when they offered you more money to go out there and risk your life when there was no vaccine, you have a problem with that. So stop trying to come to me now like this is some sort of a moral issue for you. It's about money.
Let me just say this:
because they paid before to risk your life.
To Chandler's point, anybody that ate from the buffet in a strip club should not be arguing about a vaccine.
But you know what's funny, guys? You know what's funny? If you go back, and I know R and probably you, Dave, and Max, and maybe even Bishop, we had this conversation when this started.
We did.
And we brought up the deadline of May 15th. Remember when nobody wanted to play? I'm not going to Florida. May 15th came and the checks were going to stop. Everybody ran their ass to Orlando, didn't they?
Yeah.
That's right.
So if you're going to put money over anything else, God bless you. It's still a choice. Don't get me wrong, guys. It's still your choice.
It is a choice.
Don't sit here on your high horse.
Yeah, but how do you if your money is guaranteed, then they're just gonna have to eat that, because it's not conduct detrimental to the team if I don't go and get a vaccine that you're mandating. That's not conduct detrimental to the team.
But see, it is though, Bishop, because
it will be, Bishop. It will be.
Yes, because making the choice to withhold your services. Now that's again, you got to say this. This is where
you're not withholding your service.
This is when you're gonna get to the final point of legalities. Because
I'm saying you're not withholding your service.
That it is. You can make an argument that it isn't. Yes, you
but
are.
I'm saying you're not withholding your service. No, you're not withholding your services. They are mandating or saying that if you don't do this, we're not going to allow you to. I'm ready. I'm ready to play.
Yes,
I'm ready to
which
play.
means that you have to do that in order to play.
Yeah, that's a slippery slope.
I think they just gave Kyrie an out because he was going to miss 41 games anyway.
Yeah, really.
But you know, and where it's going to come to road though is the Andrew Wiggins thing. See, because Wiggins was running his mouth, and see, this is what, and that's the other thing. You ran your mouth, told me I ain't getting this and I ain't getting that, but then I need a religious exemption, bro. You ain't mentioned God one time or whoever you choosing to pray to one time. When you was talking about this not getting this vaccine, but now that you're gonna lose some money, suddenly it's religious. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you got Bradley Beal talking. You got. I saw something where LeBron James is talking about it now. And it's like, dude, like they're gonna have to change it. I'm serious. They're gonna have to change it.
He came out and said
he's vaccinated. Yeah.
I'm saying so. Today. At the end of the day,
and he said, don't put him in these conversations. Basically, and he basically said he shut it down. He basically absolved himself.
So you were willing to play Russian roulette with these dudes' lives, and now you're saying, hey, wait a minute. You got to do this. You have to do this. But you were playing Russian roulette with their lives before you really knew about that. You were doing the testing and doing all of this other stuff. Yeah, I don't know how that's gonna work.
But they were willing. They were playing too, though, Bishop. They were willing to play because they offered them the money, and that's why.
And
again,
they're willing to play now.
Back to, don't tell me this. You trying to get some moral. So you ain't got no moral high ground. You already sold your soul during the pandemic. I'm not trying to hear Bradley Beal, Andrew Wiggins, Kyrie. I'm not trying to hear none of y'all because you sold your soul during the pandemic. So miss me with the moral high ground.
Yeah, but you took the chance and you played, and you saying now, I'm willing to take that risk. I'm gonna play.
But
I'm gonna make sure
we all take that chance going to work, getting on the train. I had to. A couple weeks ago, I had to suffer a 4-hour train ride because I got stuck during the rain. And I had to walk through the ungodly, ghastly, disgusting New York City subway tunnel.
Again, I go back to the armed forces. You're telling them that your life may be in danger if you don't take a vaccine, but meanwhile they've been to other countries putting their life on the line.
Exactly.
But don't they give them shots? Don't they give military people shots? Like if you're going into a certain geographic, if you're going into a certain geographical location, they've been experimenting.
Hey y'all, you know what's funny? I know quite a few people who work in the medical field. Some of them I know, like, I ain't taking no vaccine. And I'm looking at them like, but ain't you a doctor? Aren't you a nurse? And they're like, Mark, I'm
But you know what, Mark? In that case, some of them may be thinking, and I'm not talking for them, if they survive the wave of this initial pandemic, they're thinking, okay, I got past the hard part. What can possibly happen to me?
Right. And I sit there, and I sit there and I'm still scratching my head. I'm like, but wait, you work in a hospital, you're a doctor.
And they were working there without a vaccine, Mark.
With the vaccine.
I'm not saying their thought process might be right. I'm just saying.
And I'm not mad at them because I'm not mad at anybody who decides to take the vaccine or don't take the vaccine. It's your choice.
Right.
Well, this is a parting gift. This is a parting gift from the idiotic administration that was there beforehand. This is a parting gift. So you got
don't even try that shit, Bishop.
The whole mask mandate.
Don't do that, Bishop.
The whole
this moron in office now is the one that came up with the magical date, and then the number system went away.
The mask mandate.
Hold on.
I'm talking about the hesitancy.
Hold on. They both morons. They both don't care about me, you, or our families. They don't care about anybody else but their little cliques, which are the 1%, and F them both.
But I'm just giving you straight numbers. Somebody came up, this guy, Mr.
But one fumbled the ball, and the other one is still fumbling the ball.
And the other one
keep it real.
And you remember, guys, when we was talking about the age limit, when that magical date of umpteen percentage being vaccinated, the ages went out the window. Now we want Dave's little son, who's playing kindergarten basketball, to get a vaccine. When none of us on this line could get a vaccine 6 months ago.
Hey, and Sleepy Joe took the third booster shot. Good for him.
he needs it.
And where's Camus? I'm not calling her by her real name because I don't like that chick. Where's Camus at? Where's she been?
Who's that?
The bottom line is with all of this,
the vice
Pearls and Chucks. Where is she?
Yeah, I thought you said.
I told you I'm not calling her. I'm not calling her by her real name because I don't like that chick.
Okay, that's great, but my like I said, my issue with all of this is the same people talking these athletes. I'm going back to the athletes. They ain't got no moral high ground. So stop acting like you do because you were loud and proud about not taking it. But then when somebody asks you why, that's private. Well, then it should have been private that you didn't have it. I don't want to hear you. I don't want to hear you. So see, stop playing games. Listen, Andrew Wiggins, shut up. All of them need to shut the hell up. I don't care if you don't do it, then that's your choice. You deal with the consequences. But stop telling me what you're not doing, but then you don't want to tell me why.
Well, it's like, why do I have to explain that to you? Why do I have to explain that?
Well, then you should have, because you should have, because here's the thing. Nobody asked you. Okay, here's the thing. Nobody asked you in the first place whether you were going to get it, but you felt the need to go have a press conference about it. So since you brought it up, okay, and that's the thing. They brought this up. Nobody was asking Andrew Wiggins, was he vaccinated, bro? Nobody gave a damn about Andrew Wiggins. He was the one running his mouth, and now it's a private matter. Man, shut the hell up.
Yeah, I don't know how it came about. I'm just saying, like, when you start talking about you making things mandatory, that's when you have the issues. And I mean, not to say I agree or disagree, but to make it like, well, you can't do this until you do this, and then it's like, okay,
Well,
well, where
every
does it
job
stop?
has that, though,
Where does
Bishop.
it stop?
Every
Where
job
does it
has
stop?
that.
So you
Bishop,
took the vaccine.
there are
until
jobs where.
Yeah.
Okay, there are jobs where you have to have a certain dress code. There's jobs where you. So again, this has been going on all of our lives. There are requirements to work in certain fields.
Yes.
This is just another requirement that's been added.
But where does it stop? Because now I'm saying you got to take the vaccine, but then it's saying, okay, well, they got boosters. You got to take that. Then they're gonna come out with another booster. You got to take that. Then they say, well,
Boosters for
they got
for immunocompromised people.
For right now.
For right now. With a joke. Did y'all hear that noise in the background?
Was that your lawn?
That was a Black Hawk helicopter that flew over my head.
Oh wow!
Just know he was vaccinated, so he ain't gonna give COVID to the co-pilot. He's been vaccinated. On that note, guys, I thank you, man. I gotta go. It's getting late.
Okay, brother.
Thank you so much. Thanks,
no doubt.
All right.
Let's move on, or you guys still want to stay on this?
No, we can move on.
Huh?
We can move on.
All right. Well, latest on Ben Simmons.
See, we know how to agree to disagree, or we're all adults here.
Right.
Pretty much.
No doubt. But the latest on Ben Simmons, this situation is ridiculous. Let me tell you something.
Can I say something more?
Okay, go ahead.
He wasn't present at Media Day.
Yes, he was not. Right.
His absence was the subject of plenty of discussion during the press conferences with their president of basketball, and I'm gonna just say this about Ben Simmons. Everybody, I know people are saying he's a bum, he's a scrub, but how does a 3-time All-Star, a Steel champ, all NBA 2019-20, 2-time All Defensive, 2017-18 All Rookie, 2017-18 Rookie of the Year become a bum?
He's not a bum. Okay, he's not a bum. But let's keep it real too.
Flawed.
His shooting sucks.
Yeah.
He's very flawed. And he hold on for a second. It's alleged that he wanted to be the man in Philadelphia. He said being number 2 to Embiid is not how he flows. Don't shoot the messenger.
Really? He said that?
Really?
Listen, I think Ben Simmons, with the right team and the right coaching system, and him also acknowledging that you've messed up. It's partly your fault that this is largely your fault that this is happening. Philly, their tagline is trust the process. Can we really trust their process in this whole Ben Simmons thing? Because it's been a travesty since day one.
Of course.
Going back to his rookie year.
I've been telling you guys from the beginning. Oh, go ahead.
No, you guys are going to kill me, especially Chandler. He's going to kill me for this. I'm about to piss him off. That's okay. I'm not beefing about that. I don't care. Walk your dog. Do your thing. I ain't mad at that. But what you're going to be mad at is what I say. Okay.
Say it.
I'll take Ben on Brooklyn. Get rid of Kyrie. I don't give a shit.
That's what you had to say. That's what you had to say.
Yes, I did.
So you're saying one is more of a diva than the other one. One is full blown diva, and the other one is just a diva.
Yes.
So, with that being said, the problem that I've been telling you guys with Ben Simmons he's a good basketball player. He's just playing out of position. If he wasn't playing point guard, if he was playing in that forward spot, and they just had him defending, being like a Scottie Pippen type of player, that utility player, and able to, initiate the fast break, but not be the primary ball handler, not have him create offense at the table, he would be just fine. If they had a point guard that he was setting the screens and doing the pick and rolls and so forth, he would be just fine. The fact that he is trying to play point guard, being a starting point guard, he doesn't have the full skill set to do it.
Really? He averages 8 assists.
He doesn't, yes, averaging 8 assists, averaging how many steals, plays defense on 1 through 5, all of those other things,
right?
But can't shoot to save his life. So when the game boils down, and when you play even mediocre teams, these guys are good enough to funnel the ball back to Ben Simmons and watch him not shoot. So again, your offense is flawed if you have him at the point guard spot because he does not provide what a starting NBA point guard would provide. He does not provide that. He can't shoot. He's an offensive liability. He's an offensive liability.
But Rajon Rondo shoots bad too.
Yeah, but Rajon Rondo on Philly would be able to at least take those shots. Even if he doesn't make them, he's taking them within the scheme of the offense.
Rajon Rondo doesn't force shots.
Right, but
Ben Simmons, he doesn't do what he can't do, which is shoot.
Right.
Ben Simmons is just doing what he can't do, which is not shoot.
But
if you put him on Golden State, how would that look?
Oh, well,
it would be fine. It would be fine because they're not requiring him to shoot, and the ball is going to be moving. The ball is going to be moving.
So that's Philly's fault for not getting better shooters.
He would be great in Denver too. He would be great in Denver too.
It's like, and he would be great in Portland, right, Chandler?
Yeah.
Yeah, but here's where to me they screwed the pooch. Right after that game, right after Game 7, but also, and remember we talked about this when they asked him not to play in the Olympics. And I said he should have played in the Olympics.
Yes, he should have.
They said, we're going to work with you and this, that, and the other. We're not trading you. And then the minute he said, okay, he told Australia, I'm not playing, they started trying to trade him. So you not only did you burn the bridge, okay, you threw a zip line over into the village, okay, you napalm the village, zip line back out and then cut the damn zip line, okay? What do you think this kid was going to do at that point? Whether he's a point guard, whether he's not a point guard, it's really irrelevant. The bottom line is you had an opportunity to prove to one of your franchise players, and whether people like it or not, he is a franchise player for the 76ers. You had a chance to support him, and you screwed him, okay? And now you're going to get pennies on the dollar for a guy that had you just handled it differently. If Doc Rivers had shut his mouth, okay? If Daryl Morey hadn't lied to his face about the Olympic team and all of that, if they let him go play in the Olympics to kind of help build his confidence back up, if nothing else.
His stock.
There you go.
Yeah, I want to say, look, Ben Simmons is definitely flawed. We all saw that. But I think what the problem is, you take a flawed player and you put him into a situation that is not conducive to him, and then he becomes damaged. Yep. And so in a different organization, again, here we go with the organizational stuff. In a different organization, they would have been able to create a better narrative for him. What they did was they're so screwed up in Philly that, it's like hurt people. So they're so screwed up in Philly. After Game 7, when they all got on the bus, they drove it over Ben Simmons. And so here's a kid who knows that he has these weaknesses. And he tries to compensate for it by not taking these shots, not putting himself in the position. That is somebody who is consistently being damaged. The organization, instead of supporting him, and even if the support is getting him out of town, they threw him under the bus, and now they can't even sell him as being this franchise player because you fucked the kid over.
Yeah, but don't you think he has some responsibility in that? It's like we've been talking about how many seasons have we been? How many seasons have we been talking about? He needs to work on the shooting. He needs to do this. He needs to do that. Everybody cares. But I'm just saying, everybody
about that.
Right? Everybody cares about Ben Simmons' game except for Ben Simmons.
But see, this is but yes, okay, but we like to talk about the adults in the room.
Right.
Where are the adults in the Philadelphia organization?
There are none.
You got a kid who may be self-sabotaging himself. We can see these things. Where are the adults that will see this instead of what they did was they're just throwing gasoline on the fire.
Yep.
And so this is what you have. Ben Simmons has to work on Ben Simmons. He has parts of his game that he clearly needs to work on.
Right.
And free from making free throws, being not being a liability in crunch time if you're going to be a playoff team. And we saw all that. That was definitely exposed in this season's last season's playoffs. But Philadelphia has not done anything to help the situation. They've made it worse, and that's where the blame.
Whoa.
Hey, Bishop, before you go, let me just say this: they knew who Ben Simmons was, and they gave him that contract anyway.
Right.
Okay. So at the end of the day, they bear the. And we're talking about from the business side of this and all the things. The 76ers as an organization screwed this up because they knew who he was. Then they turned around and gave him all that big money, and now you can't move him. We're gonna put a pin. Let's put aside the fact that Ben Simmons plays a role in why his game is deficient. But as an asset, as a devalued asset, this is all on the Sixers.
Yeah, only thing they had to do, it's like, okay, only thing they had to do with him is if you want to start a flawed point guard, okay, fine. When crunch time comes, you got to have a guard in there that can shoot. Let Ben Simmons roll to the basket. He's skilled enough. Once he gets the ball in that pick and roll, he's pretty hard to defend. He's mobile. He's agile. He goes to the basket hard. So only thing we need you to do now is make your free throws. We don't need you to set the table. We don't need you to set the table. You can set screens. You can go to the basket. You can get rebounds. You can do all of the other stuff that you're good at when it comes down to crunch time. But you got to be able to make your free throws. And we're not talking about this anymore. But you put him in a point guard spot.
There you go.
Bishop, though, you're 100% right. But you said all that they needed to do, but they didn't do it, and that's why we're in the position.
Well, that's because they allowed him to dictate. They ran all of those guards out. How many guards have they drafted? And they ran them out of there so that Ben Simmons could have that starting spot.
But you know
they
what?
ran guards out of there. They fucked that other kid up. The one who came
there
in.
You go. There's the organization. That's what I'm talking about.
Who was decent.
Mark out Fultz.
Yes.
There's the organizational part. Ben Simmons has not drafted anyone. He hasn't traded for anyone. He hasn't signed a free agent in Philadelphia.
Yes.
And he doesn't coach.
Right. He doesn't coach. The responsibility of being accountable for the organization, that's not on Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons has to worry about Ben Simmons' game. If Philadelphia wasn't smart enough to put him in a position where he would not be a liability, if nothing else, then that's on Philadelphia. So if Ben is a flawed player, he is a flawed player, but Philadelphia takes the responsibility for not making him a liability. And they put him in a position where he became a liability, and it was exposed.
They catered to the star. They catered to a star,
and that's to their detriment. And
that's
so that's
what all
what
organizations do.
But this is what I'm holding them accountable for, because I'm not going to put this on Ben. I'm putting the missed free throws on Ben Simmons.
Yes,
I'm putting the fact that he the
not
missed
taking
layup and being afraid to shoot. I'm putting that on Ben Simmons, but Philadelphia, I look back, we talked about the 94 Knicks, and everybody remembers Game 6 when Starks could not make a basket. Starks is going to do what Starks is going to do, but they had Rob Blackman sitting on the bench. So I don't blame Starks for the fact that Blackman didn't come in. Right. Starks. You can blame Starks for consistently trying to shoot, but he's a shooter, so this is what he's going to do. The player is going to do. They're going to in whenever the chips are down and the back is to the wall, they're going to revert to whatever makes them comfortable. It's the coaching staff that has to see that and make the adjustments. And so they did not do that. And that's what I hold Philadelphia accountable for. And then to turn around and throw him out there to the Wolves after he's already damaged goods. And now you're taking it and making it worse.
We're on year 5 of him playing, year 6 of him being in the league because he was injured for 1 year. Right. So when he was injured, what were y'all doing with him?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Some of the players, some of the owners has to go on. So I don't know what his agent, I don't know what the organization is discussing.
His agent is Rich Paul.
But it's like he can't play any other position. But I'm saying it's like he can't play any other position on the court except for point guard. And my thing is, okay, you're good at defending 1 through 5. You're good at rebounding. You're good at driving to the basket. You're good at a lot of things except being that starting point guard. So if you want to be that starting point guard, right, you get 8 assists, fine. You pass the ball and beat.
Bishop, hold on for a second. He can play defense at the 3.
Yes.
Right? Mm-hmm. And you pair 2 guards who shoot. They're sitting on their bench. That's Seth Curry and Danny Green, right?
Mm-hmm. And the kid Maxey.
But then you wind up
any one of those 3 guys.
Right.
Should start, and he should play defense on the 3, and he should still be the point guard because Seth Curry isn't really a point guard. Danny Green's is a natural 2 guard.
But then simple. But then you wind up with teams who change their defensive schemes that funnel the ball right back to Ben Simmons.
Okay, but that's what coaching is for, though. Then you know what? If you know this as a coach, then you have to have play. Again, this comes back to it again. We're not absolving Ben, but in this particular situation, the majority of the blame goes to the Sixers because again, they knew this kid was flawed. They gave him the big contract. They never got the right team around him. They allowed him to dictate terms when he was in the league for 5 seconds. They allowed him to dictate terms. And again, and here's the thing, everybody keeps calling him mentally weak. Well, that's why you should let him play in the Olympics, because then he would have played well, more than likely. And it was, oh man, with everything going on, he still played well. Guess what? His value increases a little bit. They have done everything they can to devalue this kid as an asset. And this is once again Daryl Morey, and we've seen Morey do this. Him and D'Antoni, this was the same. They ran the same program on Melo. They've done this before. They tried to do it to Harden. Remember why they wouldn't sign a Harden? And there was all of this nonsense out there about Harden and this, Harden and that, and Harden can't do this. This is what Daryl Morey does, man. He devalues players that try to, once they say they want out. It's like he does a scorched earth thing, except now it's coming back to bite him finally.
Yeah, I don't think they want to trade him. I think at the end of the day, they got to figure out something. He's going to get out of his feelings.
It's going to be very contentious.
He's going to get out of his feelings. No, he doesn't seem like that kind of guy. He's no Jimmy Butler.
I don't mean contentious in that way, but he is angry. He's angry at that organization.
Yeah, so what? Get over it.
Listen, he don't, and y'all got to understand again. He is not an American-born player. He has a different mentality and mindset. That kid will go sit home in Australia and be like, I'm not playing. What are you going to do?
Yeah, he's got 147 million reasons why he wouldn't do that.
Okay, the Sixers are going to have to trade him. He is not going to play for the Sixers ever again.
Chandler, they certain teams that I looked at that they should make moves with, those teams may have to get another team involved in other players. It's going to have to be a multi-team, multiplayer deal because his contract is very big.
Yeah, you got to get the T-Wolves involved. You got to get Minnesota or Sacramento involved in this deal, or maybe Detroit. One of those 3 teams, because that's where the landing spot for the bad contracts are going to wind up.
Oh well, they shouldn't be bad organizations, but they are. I'm seeing people say Ben Simmons is trash. He's this and he's that. Yeah. Also, bear in mind that fan base, Philly people, we know how they act and we know how they do.
Yep.
So, but I have a few Philly fans who are friends on Twitter, and they aren't as hard on him as I thought they would be. They're more looking at the organization and seeing how they've messed up.
Yep.
They don't want to trade him.
In the space of 24 hours, he went on one interview to why we love him, we're gonna talk to this and that, and in the next interview compared him to Trump. You really think that kid's gonna play for the organization again? Come on.
They don't want to trade. They don't want to trade him. They don't want to trade him. The demands that they were making, as far as getting trades, you could see that they weren't being realistic. They're not going to trade him. They're going to They're going to sit down in the room.
They're asking for a superstar and a draft pick. You can't have both.
Exactly. So what they're going to do is probably going to wind up. They're going to sit down in the room. They're going to come to amicable terms, and he's going to come in, and because right now the only thing that we're dealing with now is his emotions. That's it.
Well, that's their emotions as well.
This ain't about emotions. And how you going to sit
down
in the room with a man who refuses to meet with you? You can't sit down in the room with me if I refuse to meet with you.
Yeah, that's because he's upset. He's in his feelings. When it all boils down to it, this is a business. It's a business. It's nothing personal.
And he has the leverage.
It's nothing personal. Well, no, they got 147 million reasons why he should be playing.
The Sixers are paying for a team, and they're paying luxury tax for a team that might not get out the first round without him. So who has the leverage?
Right.
They'll get out the first round. They're good enough without him.
Not without him.
Yeah, they'll get out the first round.
Not without him.
Okay.
They'll get out the first round.
Okay.
No.
They'll win a significant amount of games too.
Remember what happened with KP? And his brother interjected himself into the Knicks business, and KP acted like a brat. And I ain't mad at him for him acting the way he acted because the organization was shitty.
Right.
And he had that right to voice how he felt. A lot of Knicks fans, they hate KP right now. I don't hate KP.
He did us a favor.
Right. I'm indifferent to him because I recognized the organization was crappy. And he was like, yo, y'all got to get me up out of here.
Yep.
Philly, on paper, they're still a playoff team, so they're not crappy. But internally, the organization is crappy.
Yep.
So the only thing that needs to happen right now is they need to get with this dude, get him past his feelings. He get out there on the court. You know what? Regardless of all of that, he's still a good basketball player.
He's an all-star.
Regardless of all of that.
Bishop, if I'm his agent, I don't let you meet with him.
Yeah.
Period. You are not meeting with him. We're not sitting down with you. We're not talking about this. So here's what you can do.
What is this really about?
And everything that you want. This kid has been frugal with his money. He got money. He's made some money. He's good. He can last a year without your check. Can you last a year without him?
Nope.
Yeah.
When you trouting out who they got as their guards.
I don't think it will.
Everybody said Le'Veon Bell wouldn't sit out for a season. He did, and he got his money.
What'd you say, Chandler?
I remember when everybody said no way Le'Veon Bell was going to give up $14 million.
Right.
What did he do? He gave up that $14 million. He sat at home.
And he got the contract.
Exactly.
I guess he wanted.
Yep. Ben Simmons.
Yeah, but this ain't about a contract though. This is about his feelings. That's what we're talking about now.
No, this is about an organization. This is about working for a company that has screwed you, and you say, you know what, I'm not working for you anymore.
It happens all the time. You go to work, and you bust your ass, and then they underappreciate you, underpay you,
go somewhere else.
Do whatever. You go someplace else, but it's not like it's going to get any better anyplace else. If you go someplace else and they make the playoffs, well, I'm saying if you go someplace else and they make the playoffs, there's 29 other teams that will say, hey, if they're in the playoffs, we're going to gear our defense to funnel the ball back to Ben Simmons. He's gonna have to. I can't argue with you because you always prove me wrong. You're right. You always prove me wrong.
Remember the college he went to. What college did he go to?
A shitty college.
Which tells you that tells you his mental state, right? That tells you what he's about.
Right.
He went to LSU, bro.
Right. Y'all ready to move on?
Yeah.
Yeah. You make a very valid point. All right.
We gonna go into the lane of the NFL.
Oh, this clown.
Wide receiver Josh Gordon is reinstated, and he signs with the Kansas City Chiefs. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
I give him 3 games.
Before he's back in.
That's good enough to get 3 game checks, Chandler.
Before he's back in protocol.
And go toke up.
So he
go toke up.
You know what though? What bothers me about this, and I've seen this so many times, Matt. We know people. You know what I'm saying? They get clean enough to get the job.
Right.
And they get a couple of checks.
Yep.
And it's back to the races. And that's all this is. All these people who claim, with the environment, they don't give a damn about Josh Gordon. And that's the worst part, is the people around him don't give a damn about him.
That's
because
true.
All you doing is letting him do just enough to get back. First of all, the league shouldn't even reinstate him. Because we all know how this is going to end. We all know how this is going to end. He ain't ready to be Soviet. He ain't ready to stop yet. He's just trying to get some money. So what happens if when he's back out of the league and he overdoses and dies? What happens then?
Well, right. And look, this might be his last or next to last contract because he's getting up in age for a player. He's 28. 28 or 30. He's somewhere in between those ages.
I think he's 30 now.
Right. So time is ticking on his athletic clock because 30-year-old wide receivers who haven't played as much as, he's been in and out.
Well, if they could give what was that quarterback from Cleveland?
Who?
The quarterback from Cleveland.
You want Manziel?
Manziel.
Yeah, if they could give him seven second chances, then I'm
actually, Josh Gordon has had more chances than Johnny Manziel.
Yep, way more.
Keeping it real.
Way more. But Bishop, it's not that I don't think everybody deserves an opportunity if you truly trying to, you know what I'm saying? But it's the reason. It's the fact that we. Let me see. I'm trying to say this.
Say it. Get it out.
They're not trying to help him, man. They're not doing it.
Right.
No one in his. So we know the NFL don't care, but no one around him cares. That's the part about it that bothers me. Is yes, I would love to see him be successful, but I said this the last time and the time before that and the time before that. Okay, we're going on 4 or 5 times now that he's been suspended and come back, and I've said it every time that they shouldn't let him back in because he's not ready to actually live a good life. See, I'm thinking about his life after football. What's going to happen then, man? Does anybody give a damn about this kid? Anybody?
I don't think they do. And he's getting older and older. I was thinking about him before we did the show. We still calling him a kid. He's 30 years old.
I just thought about that, and I was about to say, you know what? At a certain point, you're making choices, so I'm not gonna feel sorry for you. I feel bad that I'm watching someone waste their life, but I no longer feel bad for him because he knows what the deal is. He's making choices now on this. He knows what's gonna happen when he picks up. He knows what's gonna happen. All right, done it too many times. He knows what the end result's gonna be, and he's choosing to do it anyway. So at this point, bro, do you? But I don't think he should be in the NFL. You know what? I'd rather see Cam can't get a job, but Josh Gordon can still get. Listen, man, come on.
Cam don't want a job.
Yeah, I know. But that's a whole other conversation. Shoot.
Let's move on. I wish Josh Gordon well because when he was drafted and when he played, he is 1A talent. He's a star.
Hall of Fame talent.
Right. And, it is what it is. Let's move on. Denver Broncos. Y'all know I like Teddy Bridgewater, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's playing well. He won that job in Denver. Denver's playing well. They 3-0. I watched, I think, one game. I watched one full game of the Broncos and parts of some of their other games. Teddy's always been a steady quarterback. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes, doesn't turn the ball over. He makes the right plays, which is great for Denver because they still got a great defense led by Von Miller.
Yep.
And the coach is doing a good job thus far.
Yo, yeah. Vic
Welcome back,
Fangio. Thank you. Sorry about that, guys. I had to take care of something. You know? Yeah, brother. I gotta tell you, I'm proud of Teddy Bridgewater. I don't know who the offensive coordinator is, but this guy, he's doing his thing. He's out there. He's definitely doing it. You know what I'm saying? It's a shame that the receiving corps took a little hit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I think they lost two of their top four wideouts, if I'm not mistaken. You know what I mean? But the other guys have been stepping it up. So, you know, they should just stick to the formula offensively that's been working for them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, a 3-0 start. Nobody thought that. You know, and I realized it was against teams that are kind of like lower tiered. I get that, but
they all suck.
But you got to realize too. You got to realize this too, Mac. Before this, previously, they was like 10-8 in games like this. You know what I'm saying? The struggle. Right. You know, the games they really should have had more wins than close to being 500. You understand what I'm saying?
You're supposed to beat the Giants, Jacksonville, and the Jets.
Yeah. You're supposed to be teams. The teams that you need to beat, and they struggled with that recently. But now we're seeing coming out the gate firing 3-0 over teams that they should be. They're doing what they need to be doing right now. That's the bottom line.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm glad Teddy is getting this light to shine in and show, you know, because he had that horrific injury and he's back.
Yeah,
but he played well last year when he got a chance to play.
Move on from him though. That's the worst part. Is I give him one season there, then they still gonna be trying to get somebody else up in there. And that's the worst part. Instead of saying you got a quarterback good enough to get you to the playoffs, anything happen in the playoffs, and they're not satisfied with that, and that's the worst part for Teddy.
Right, and you have a great defense.
Yep. But all you hear is about what Teddy can't do, not what he can do. All you hear about what he can't do. Okay, he just wins though. It's funny how that works. He just wins
wherever he's been. Yep. Except Bishop, you got it.
Except the Jets.
Go ahead, Chandler.
I said except the Jets, but you know we know why.
Oh man, the doormat.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of them, let's move on.
Oh boy. Okay. I have a ball watching this team. This makes my Sundays. I'm not gonna lie to you. Watching the New York Jets. This real and Chandler, I want to talk to you about this real. You know what I'm saying? Because you have your own take with the head coach.
Yep.
We discussed this at detail.
Mm-hmm.
They're just horrible, man. Bottom line, they're just a horrible football team, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Since 2017, they are tied with another team, which is a team we'll talk about later. But we're talking about the Jets right now. They're tied for the worst record. You know, going back to 2017, they're 18-49 in the last 4 years?
Yeah. 5 years, 4 or 5 years, man.
Respect the consistency.
Right.
Respect the consistency.
Only Bishop. Only Bishop will put that out there.
The texts today were going crazy, especially about the Jets in our text group. It starts with the owner. It goes to the GM who built a very, very flawed team. That offensive line is still garbage, especially since they lost Becton for a moment.
Yeah,
the left tackle.
For a moment.
Their running backs are below average to average. Wide receivers are solid. Meh. Solid to meh.
I would go to meh more than solid.
Their defensive line is the best part of the team.
Okay.
The punter is good. The kicker is all right.
You got plenty of practice to be good. Exactly.
Right. The linebackers are meh, and the secondary is trash. You cannot win if your secondary is trash and your offensive line is trash.
Well, I personally believe that Robert Saleh is sabotaging Joe Douglas.
Yeah.
We remember when it came out that Saleh didn't want to draft the quarterback. He wanted to keep Darnold and trade the pick because he said we have far too many needs on this roster. And then Joe Douglas was like, "Yeah, but I make the final." Remember, it was an interview. I make the final decision.
Right.
Okay, stay in your place. Okay, let me stay in my lane. Okay, I got you. Now, Denzel Mims has tremendous talent. That boy's gifted. Denzel Mims can't get on the field. According to Robert Saleh, well, his playing style, and he doesn't play special teams. So you telling me that your best wide receiver can't get on the field because you can't figure out a way to use his talent, and he doesn't play special teams?
And here's the caveat, Chandler. Who's the offensive coordinator?
Mike LaFleur, who only got the job because of his brother Matt.
Wow.
Because
I'm not gonna diss him like that.
I am. He's never been an offensive coordinator. He's never been a play caller. His last name was LaFleur, so he got a job just like Jay Gruden got a job because his last name was Gruden.
Right. But let me go to something else. You mentioned that Saleh and Joe Douglas have a possibly contentious relationship, right? Okay, GM. It's not a pissing match, coach. It's not a pissing match. We on the same team.
No, we're not.
If me and Chandler go back and forth, we disagree a lot.
Right.
On some things. We agree on things. Right?
Right.
If we on the same team, Chandler, right? Hey, you the GM and I'm the coach, and I tell you, listen, I want to the quarterback. We don't need to draft another quarterback. We just need to put pieces around this quarterback.
Right.
You would listen to me, right?
Just so are you the coach or the GM in this?
I'm the coach. You're the GM. I gave you the power.
I should listen to you because I just hired you, so I should basically make it as easy as possible for you. Yes.
Right. Right. Also, you're building a team. You're getting players that fit my style and my OC style of play, right?
Right. I'm supposed to.
Right. And your job is to oversee the salary cap and make sure you get players who are costly. Maybe we spend more money on this guy, but not so much on this guy. But they all fit into my system, right?
That used to be how it was, yes. They used to be.
And what did you say the GM said?
GM's like, I make the final decision. I build the roster. I.
And there's the problem.
It's not about a we with the Jets.
No.
And that's been a problem going back so long. Dude, this has been a problem going back to Joe Walton. Okay? With the Jets.
Jesus.
Everybody keeps saying the Jets don't have a quarterback, so they go and get a quarterback, but they don't do anything else. Zach Wilson, first of all, and this I find it interesting that but no one connects these dots. Everybody keeps telling me that Justin Fields would make the Chicago Bears a playoff team if he had a good coach. You know what I'm saying? If you let him play. The Jets had a chance to draft Justin Fields, but they drafted Zach Wilson. Well, if you're telling me that Justin Fields can make the Bears a playoff team, how the hell are you going to tell me that Zach Wilson is a better quarterback than Justin Fields? That was your first mistake. Your second mistake was not listening to your coach that you just hired.
Hired,
hired when he said there's a lot of holes to fill. Let's keep Darnold one more year. Let's trade that pick. Let's build up the organization. Nope, we got to have a franchise quarterback. Okay, bro.
Right.
In 3 years, they're drafting another quarterback.
Right. So Douglas did something smart. He did stockpile draft picks.
Okay. Who did he draft?
Right.
I mean, you got Michael Carter, Jason Garrett. You got Michael Carter, who on a good team would be your second running back. He would be your change of pace back.
Right,
He's your primary running back. Okay, he would be what's the kid Pollard? He would be like Pollard and Dallas. Change of pace back.
Well, all their running backs, with the exclusion of the veteran that they had, all those guys are decent, and they're all number twos, in my opinion.
Yes, behind a bad offense, what should have been a good offensive line, but your play calling and scheming is awful. So your offensive line sucks because that offensive line has talent, but if you call plays that don't fit what they do, then they're no good. So I go back to Mike LaFleur, who got a job because his last name. Okay.
Oui. But Chandler, getting back to their disconnect. When Rex was the coach, before Usyk, the other GM, he spent a lot of money. And he
wasn't it Tannenbaum or no?
Tannenbaum spent a lot of money, and Rex, he got Rex some talent, but then he did the smart thing. Offensive line was solid. Offensive line was great. Running, which made the running backs solid. Whoever you put behind him.
Don Green was a beast behind that offensive.
Right. He has solid receivers.
Yep.
Santonio Holmes and Braylon Edwards, but they both weren't on the same timeline as Sanchez because they were, Braylon Edwards played 2 seasons and his knees.
Played one full and the rest he was hurt over the same time.
Right, and Santonio Holmes just did what Santonio Holmes does.
Exactly.
Right. They didn't replenish the wide receivers for Sanchez.
Right.
No.
Right. But here's the thing: both Rex and Tannenbaum have admitted they made a mistake there. They come at because they were of the same mind. They said, "Okay, let's turn the franchise over to Sanchez." But Sanchez wasn't that guy. But they both said, "Yeah, we made a mistake." Don't listen. You can admit you made a mistake. It is what it is. But Joe Douglas refuses to listen. The fact that they didn't bring in a veteran quarterback told me all I needed to know. When they asked Saleh why he didn't have a veteran quarterback, they said, "Well, this is our franchise guy." That was his way of saying, he said that's who he wanted. Okay.
So, getting back to the disconnect, Chandler. We saw what Usyk and Rex happened, right?
Yep.
The GM decided I'm not spending no money because I don't like you and I don't want you, but the owner wants you. They both got fired. So Saleh, what you're doing is going to get you fired eventually.
Well, yes, and that's the problem because Douglas is going to be going after the season because the drum beat has already started with certain people that fall in the network about Wilson and the failure and how he looks and da da da. That's at the feet of Joe Douglas. Joe Douglas. So now we're gonna see Woody Johnson, Clown Woody. He's gonna fire
and his brother Chris.
Yeah, they're gonna fire Douglas. They're gonna ask Saleh who he wants. We just did this with Adam Gase.
Right.
Yep. Listen, they might as well hire the 4 of us. One of us could coach, one of us could GM, and the other 2 could be scouts or defensive offensive coordinators, and we do a damn good job.
I guarantee you Denzel Mims will make some plays. I guarantee you I guarantee you I can figure a couple of plays for Denzel Mims. I'm just saying.
Ridiculous, man. That's what I said. Yo, honestly, like I said, that makes my Sunday watching the Jet games because I just be cracking up, man. It's comedy. It's straight up comedy watching these dudes, man. I'm like, yo, look at this. It's like almost on the point of being predictable. You can just tell what happens.
The Jets are so relevant.
What do you mean you wish you could say that?
No, I'm saying I wish I could say the same thing, but I'm watching the Giants too, so it's like.
Oh well, the Giants are that team that is tied with the Jets for the worst record over the last 4 years.
Yeah, and it's just
they got matching 18 and 14, 49.
That's crazy.
Records.
Look at my man Ronan.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happening.
Eternal Bernie Cole.
That's hilarious. I'm sorry, Bishop. I had to put that out there when you were talking. I'm sorry about that.
No.
The Giants. Yo, I was in a discussion with a dude who he literally said on Twitter that Daniel Jones isn't the problem this year. And I subtly agree with him. I agree with him to a point.
Dude.
To a point.
But he's been a turnover machine the majority, in previous years. He's a turnover machine.
Of course.
He said he was a saving grace his rookie year and was a stabilizing factor. I'm like, dude. Because he had 26 touchdowns. I'm like, dude.
It was fantasy team football.
There you go.
No, not really, because he got a gang load of interceptions and fumbles.
Yeah, but still got those PPR points though from him. Still got those PPR points.
When are we gonna stop making excuses for Daniel Jones?
Exactly.
Never.
I watched all 3 Giant games, and the close game they had. Was it Washington?
Yeah, I think
no.
Which was a close game?
The close game was just the game last weekend. It wasn't Washington. No.
Oh, okay.
It was somebody else.
Atlanta.
Thank you.
They were in struggle ball with Atlanta.
Exactly.
The ball never moved past the 35-yard line between both offenses.
But what talent do the Giants have? You got wide receivers who can't catch the damn ball. Okay. You got
the Giants have talent.
Well, wait. The thing is, Chandler. The thing is, they couldn't throw to anybody because you had Slayton out. You had what's the other guy? Shepard out.
Shepard got hurt.
Who hasn't done anything anyway? So
but that game Sunday wasn't about offense. That game was about defense.
Right.
The only thing you had to do was be solid on defense. You scored. Okay, fine. You scored enough to win that game. You should have been up by like 3 touchdowns.
It was struggle ball. It was like watching Pigpen from Charlie Brown on the court.
Yeah, but in that third quarter, when they started allowing all of those big runs, when they couldn't tackle anybody, dude is running for 20 yards, 30 yards. It's like, dude, like what's happening? I don't understand what's happening here. It's like it's football. Tackle him.
The defense is constantly on the field. I mean,
yeah, but that's what you get. That's what you get paid to do.
All right.
Ronan's killing me right now.
Our brother Ronan said, "I like how the Giants hired an AC who would never call plays. Yep, and bring in one of the most stagnant play callers I watched in Dallas for 10 years."
And there we go back to what Bishop is saying. What you're saying. It's the Giants are mediocre. The talent is a mediocre level. So if you got a good coach, right, and a good play caller, you could take mediocre and make it good if you know what the hell you're doing, right? Or you can take mediocre and make it bad. They have people making it bad. The Giants they have enough talent to win some games. They have enough talent to probably win 7-8 games. They might win 5 or 6.
Right.
At least be 500. At least be 500. Be respectable. Don't be a doormat. Don't be a doormat. Win the games that you're supposed to win. Like you're supposed to beat Atlanta. You're supposed to win. You're supposed to beat Atlanta. Like it was horrible. And then to add insult to injury, not only do you lose, but you lose to a field goal in the final seconds that you could have. You didn't stop anybody. You didn't stop the run.
Supposed to be
you didn't stop
Carolina
anybody.
also.
But I'm just saying that game was a winnable game. Then you could say, okay, we're getting back to respectability. We fine tune the things that we need, even if it was just fluff. But it's like
I think me and R had a discussion on Facebook. The owner got mad. Mara got mad, and I think he destroyed a garbage can.
Yeah, he kicked some cans down the hall.
Homie, be mad at yourself because you brought back Gettleman into your organization, and Gettleman is the smartest. He's the smartest man in the world.
Yep.
He got like 10 degrees on paper. He's the smartest man in the world. He goes and hires a special teams coordinator to be his head coach, and then he goes and hires somebody he's watched for 10 years, 12 years as an OC and a head coach in Jason Garrett, And this is what we have. We got Vanilla City. It's vanilla ice cream.
Yeah.
Soft.
What did we say when they hired Gettleman? He don't want anybody on the team with any sort of personality.
Right.
Yep.
Then what did I tell you last season? I said because Joe Judge has the makings of a good coach. Okay, he has the makings of a good. We can say whatever we want, but we can say one thing about the Giants: they do play hard, even when they play bad, they play hard, right? So he has the makings of a good coach. There's some stuff he needs to clean up and all of that. But the worst thing that happened for Giants fans was the fact that you brought in Joe Judge and that team looked respectable even in losing. They looked like a professional football team, a bad one, but they looked like a professional football team. That is why Gettleman got brought back. That is why Gettleman will keep his job because all he has to sell to the owner is, well, look at the coach I brought in. We're close. We're close. And you know the Giants don't like changing coaches anyway.
Yep.
So the worst, and that's the worst thing that could happen to Giants fans. You know, you need this team to win. If this team even wins 5 or 6 games, Gettleman's coming back. Y'all need the Giants to lose. I mean, lose. They need to go like 2-15 in order to get Gettleman up out of there.
And yo, their offense is just
trash.
Yeah.
Whack. It's not inventive. It's not today. It's like he's running something from 1997.
The quarterback sucks. He holding the ball. It's like, yo, watch Eli.
He makes one read. He doesn't look off anybody and then come back to where he's gonna go, which is what good, competent quarterbacks can look you off, knowing where they're going.
That's coaching as well, though, Matt.
But I'm saying
you know that your quarterback is only a half-field reader. Then run plays that accentuate that. Okay. And I keep asking this question, and no one can give me an answer. We saw Josh Allen in his second year look like, oh my God, this dude's a bust, right? He was overthrowing people, all of that. Josh Allen went to some, I forget who he went to. They broke him down, totally broke him down, and built him back up. And then last year, that's the Josh Allen, and this year, the Josh Allen you see. How is it that how is it the Giants and some of these other teams haven't done the same damn thing with their quarterbacks?
Can't explain it.
That's the question. You saw the results of it with Josh Allen, right?
Right.
Why didn't the Giants do this with Daniel Jones? I would have had Daniel Jones with the same people, right? 5 seconds after the season over last year, yo, I'd have picked, get in the car. Where we going? None of your business.
And you know what's funny? Jones has some talent.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, but you don't even have to be. You just got to be consistent. It's like Eli Manning. It's like 5 to 7 yards. I'm past that ball 5 to 7 yards. I'm 5 to 7 yarding you all game. I'm consistent. You know what you're gonna get. I don't have to air it out. Just be consistent. He can't even do that. Can't even do that.
Part of it is not his fault though. Like
5 to 7 yards. 5 to 7 yards. Come on,
their offensive line is still
trash.
Sus.
And his receivers still can't get separation.
He holds the ball way too long. He holds the ball way too long, and it's like, okay, I don't even need you to get separated. I don't even need you to get separation like that. I'm passing the ball so only you can catch it.
Yep.
On the move, in that pocket. I'm passing the ball so only you can catch it. So either you're going to catch it or you're not going to catch it.
Right.
And 5 to 7 yards. 5 to 7 yards.
Right.
And then you run.
Like Ronan said, Buffalo crafted an offense to fit Allen's skill set, and his skill set got better. And when they traded for Stephon Diggs, I told you, Chandler, that was the move.
Yeah, you were right, though. Because I still was last year, I was still not a believer in Allen until damn near 3/4 through the season. You know,
but Diggs made him better.
Yes, he did. He did. Because he knew if he threw it to him, he'd catch it. And that's why I keep going Kenny Galladay. I don't know what happened to the Kenny Galladay I saw in Detroit. Okay? That dude didn't make it to New York.
Too much Detroit.
Right?
And lose
he didn't make it to New York. Because, listen, dude, in 2 games, you dropped 8 balls when you haven't fit on the sideline to throw me the ball. Why?
Chandler, that's like when I play point guard and dudes say, "Yo, you ain't getting me the ball." I'm like, "Mofo, you can't shoot. I'm not giving you the ball."
Come on, man. I mean, Kenny listen. Sterling, Evan Ingram. I said this 2 years ago. Get rid of Evan Ingram. Oh, but he has so much talent. He can't catch the ball.
And he's always hurt.
Mm-hmm. Well, you heard the business that the crowd gave him at that game. Did you hear the business they gave him?
Yes.
Well, they don't show New York games up here in New York, so.
And
well, I'm gonna tell you, they was booing the hell out of him, and when they took him out the game, there was so much cheering, it wasn't even funny.
Wow.
And they booed the owner too.
Yeah, that's right. Wow. So Ingram, I think the best thing that the Giants need to get rid of him, because at that point, if you really look at it.
Well, what are they going to get for him? You might. I give you a fifth round pick for him.
But you know what you might get? You might get a fourth, maybe, or a fifth.
You're not getting a fourth round pick for him.
You might. No, you might. You just might. Don't deny it. You might. That's why I said might. Definitely.
They'll give you all their picks.
Exactly.
He is the Anthony Joshua of football. Body built by Adonis. Glass.
It's made of brick.
Mm-hmm. It's a shame.
That's the problem, though, with that team is there are a lot of talented players on that roster. There's a lot of talented players.
The secondary is tight,
but they don't fit for whatever reason. They don't well. I don't. And again, it's something going on with the Giants. It has been for the past few years, where they have had talent, and the talent has, instead of being maximized, has been minimized.
It's due to the coach. Shermer wasn't the guy.
No, he was not.
He's a solid offensive coordinator. But he's not a head coach. He lost in Cleveland. Wherever he's gone, he's lost. He wasn't the guy for you to hire.
Yep.
Gettleman has proven that he's an idiot. Once again, which we already knew. What you should have did was gotten you a more professional GM who sees football in a modern way, because
I was just about to mention him. I was just about to mention him.
Right.
Look
at we see that Matthew Stafford wasn't a problem in Detroit. Detroit was the problem.
I'm still out on Stafford. We'll see what happens when he gets to the playoffs.
Well, like I said he's playing well. It's Matthew Stafford, but we see he wasn't the problem.
Oh,
but you know what though? For all this crap, listen, I think Dan Campbell's a clown. That team plays hard as hell, and they've had opportunities to win games. Actually, last game they should have won that game.
They should have won that. Yeah, that was one of the funniest moments I've seen in sports recently. That was one of the funniest moments. Those poor Lion fans.
And Chandler, I saw your text.
What text?
Nagy.
Oh God, yes. Yeah, he got to go.
Before you get into that, hold on. Before you get into that, can I just reveal my favorite part of Week 3 in the NFL?
Sure.
Was the fact that Kansas City lost 2 in a row. I love that shit. I'm sorry. I hope they lose a third this week. Okay.
They might. Nagy. And see, this is y'all. Everybody screaming about Nagy, but nobody's talking about the Jets. It's the exact same thing. The coach is in. Now the coach. Listen, people have said it, and coach will do it. We've seen coaches sabotage players before. We've seen it. We've all seen it. This play you can call this. Matt Nagy literally tried to get that young boy hurt. 9 sacks. You got a mobile quarterback, and you don't run no bubble screens. You don't run any screens. No jet sweeps. I don't know what's going on in Chicago, but Matt Nagy has to go, or Justin Fields' career is going to be. Justin Fields is going to off if Matt Nagy stays the whole year. He's going to be David Carr.
I agree with Ronnie.
Yeah, I agree with him too.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Same here.
Getting back to Nagy, you sabotage the quarterback you drafted.
Yes.
Because you were winning, you were setting him up to be better because you were winning games with him. You sabotaged Tariq Cohen, he's injured right now, coming back from I think ACL injury.
But what's the point of drafting guy? So Nagy drafted Fields.
Yes.
So what's the point?
Smart draft. Okay. That was the guy to pick. Go ahead, Chip. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying. No, it's okay. It's all good. I'm just saying. I just don't understand that whole freaking logic with that. Why are you sabotaging a guy you drafted a year prior? That's ridiculous.
Because he keeps taking credit for Patrick Mahomes, and it's not his credit to take. So he has to prove that he's the one. See, because remember the timeline. Matt Nagy was on the staff. He was the offensive coordinator, but Andy Reid called all the plays. Nagy didn't call any plays. Right? Patrick Mahomes blossomed. Right? Matt Nagy got a job because of that, because he took credit for it, and Andy Reid let him take credit for it because he wanted him to get a job. So Andy Reid said, yeah, he helped. Yeah, he's the reason Patrick's good.
Right.
So Chandler, was he designing plays?
No, he wasn't doing any of that. But see, now he's trying to prove that he's smarter than everybody. So he's because think about it. He had Trubisky. He said Trubisky was the problem. He brought in Nick Foles. Oh, Nick Foles was the problem. Now he's got Fields. Oh, Fields isn't ready yet. Y'all just don't understand my genius.
Did you hear what his statement was today or yesterday?
Yeah, he says
No. He said, I think any one of our quarterbacks can start next week.
Oh, yeah. I saw that.
But it ain't him. It ain't him, no. Okay? It ain't. His system is fine. It's the people in the system. He's Mike Martz. He's Mike Martz. Remember Mike Martz? It was never his fault that his quarterbacks were getting killed. All right? Because you kept taking 7-step drops.
Ronan is right.
The fact that the Chicago Bears are allowing this man to coach another game speaks to the organizational malfeasance endemic to football.
And also, their defense is getting older by the day.
Yeah.
Which is the best part of their team.
They got a 40-year-old left tackle. Jason Peters should have retired 6 years ago.
Yo, hilarious. Well, gentlemen, I tell you, man, I'm just looking forward to week 4. I'm looking forward to week 4. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
Your Bills are looking all right, bro.
Oh, I know that. I'm fully confident in them. That's the real team in New York.
Winning, and Jameis is winning.
That's right. How about that?
Yeah.
How about that, huh?
Ronan going in.
Yeah. That's right.
Well, he could find one. He could definitely find one. You know what I'm saying? In Baltimore.
Right. Oh, Kyler Murray doing the damn thing in Arizona. Arizona
MVP.
playing really good right now.
MVP candidate right now. Solid MVP candidate right now.
They ain't beat nobody yet, though.
I agree with you, but they playing. They defense is playing really well.
Like
exactly.
I just don't like Cliff Kingsbury. I'm sorry, I can't stand him.
What did he do to you, bro? Was he one of your old roommates?
No, what it is because I hate the way that they did Steve Wilkes. That's why I want Cliff.
No, that's not Kingsbury's fault.
I don't care. I didn't listen. I didn't like him when he was a quarterback in college. I didn't like him as a coach. I don't like him now. So,
and I agree with you. They did do that brother wrong, but it's not Kingsbury's fault.
Yeah, I know, but it's just something about him. He one of them pretty boys. I hate pretty boys. Look at me. You think I like pretty boys? Come on.
I'm about to say, you have a problem with his name? I mean,
I got a problem with everything about him.
But you don't want to see Kyler Murray succeed? I like that guy.
MVP candidate. Period.
That's my guy. I got him in like 4 of my fantasy teams.
See, and there we go with the fantasy. But no, I want to see Kyler Murray be successful. Don't want it to be in Arizona.
Gotcha.
Well,
Okay.
he's there, and they defense is playing good.
Yeah, the NFC West could legitimately get 4 teams in the playoffs. Think about that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Nah, he's right.
Seattle.
He's right.
Seattle is iffy to me this year. They on a decline a little.
They might be, but they could. If you look at the rest of the NFC as a whole, tell me which one of those teams isn't going to win at least 9 to 10 games.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you could see 4 teams from one conference in the playoffs.
I think the Rams. They let Tampa Bay know, it's gonna be real if we see you.
Yeah, now that's gonna be a good game.
That was a good game.
Play the Cardinals. That's gonna be.
Yeah.
Wow. Do y'all agree with Ronan's assessment?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah. Think about Charlie Ward and his skill set, and look at Kyler.
Hell yeah.
And nobody drafted the national championships Heisman Trophy quarterback. Nobody drafted him. I wonder why.
Who you talking about?
Charlie Ward.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder why. See, Ronan sees what I see. Seattle's defense is terrible this year.
Yeah, you can fix that though. You can fix the defense. You can scheme around and you can pick up some guys and all of that. You can fix that. But listen, man, that NFC West is a monster.
Yeah,
but
it is. Bottom line.
Get running backs hurt, so we'll see what happens with that.
I like
injury prone. Yeah.
I like the Chargers.
Yeah,
they've been playing good.
Chargers going Chargers. Okay, they going Chargers or going Chargers.
No, I'm just saying they've been playing good thus far, and the quarterback looks good.
They're gonna lose some games they're not supposed to lose because it's the Chargers. It's what they do. It's what they do.
All right. All right, gentlemen. I'm gonna close this down for the night.
Yes, sir.
It's been great. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't make fried steak.
That's right. There you go. Don't even remind me, please.
What did he say? What did Shan say? He's going what?
Yep.
No, I thought you said you was gonna make me some steaks.
No, I said,
man,
chicken fried steak and some spinach.
Yeah. See, there you go.
Yo, he's still smiling.
Of course he is. he better be. So listen, guys, thanks for calling in. Well, I shouldn't say calling. I'm just talking about just streaming in. I think that's better. All right. Got my man Chandler Bishop. Thanks, Don, for chiming in. All the viewers and people in the chat room. Big Ronan, my man. Thanks for joining us tonight, and hopefully we'll be back again very soon.
That's
I got to talk to Mac about that probably tomorrow or Thursday.
Yeah, if you don't get your vaccine, you can't do the show.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Thank you for providing me with the excuse there, brother. Good man.
I'm vaccinated, so
yeah. Okay, I
don't know about R because R sent me a text. He was like, "This, I'm gonna sue somebody."
I was. I actually was, but there's no. I had no ground with that. Nah, so it wasn't gonna happen. So obviously, I got vaccinated. It is what it is. But for the guys here in the paint, thank you for tuning in, and we'll check you very soon.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace.